Hey, Mark Rodriguez here, and you're watching America's number one cure for insomnia, the Diving Carter Wrestling Podcast, and with me are...
Jack Knives from Jack Knives Reviews.
Jupi Chan, also known as Ninja Jupi, but you also call me Wendy. And I want to turn it over to the one, the only, the man of the hour, the man with the power, the man whose face you can't see this week, ladies, and we apologize. Johnny Rodriguez.
Johnny Rodriguez.
All right, guys, today we're going to be going over AEW Double or Nothing 2025 and all the crazy shenanigans that happened there. But before we go into that, we're going to go into recent wrestling news. And first of all, one of the things is lots of WWE superstars have gotten released again. And I'm surprised that all of them, Braun Strowman got released again. Like, he's like the release champion after all the stuff about the first time. But okay, that's when Vince is here. And now that with Triple H, he got released again. And I think Zoe Stark actually stayed. But a bunch of other people got released and everything. You can mention the other names in a bit, Jack. But for me, the main person that got released was Cora Jade. That was kind of surprising. She was out for injury for a while, like almost like half a year or so. Now she finally came back. And she's like just released and everything. So now the good news, I guess, for fans of her from, before she had to do the WWE shtick, the whole Vince, I don't get it, kind of thing, and turn her into like a weird skater girl or whatever it is. She's now back to the original Sorceress of Sin, Elena Black, which is a shirt I still got here from her first run, her original gimmick. So she'll be back with the coffin, the turrets, and who knows what other new things she might be doing. She's doing indie stuff for the time being. She still has to wait till June 2nd, gets a whole non-complete cause crap and everything. But she'll be starting, she already got some indie matches lined up. We don't know if she's going to eventually go to TNA or AEW or something, but we do know she's starting off her OnlyFans also starts in June 2nd. But anyways, in other matters, what other people are being released, Jack?
Well, I think for me, the biggest shock of the people was Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler has been in that company for, like 8 years, 9 years? But now she could go back to being the submission magician that she truly is. I mean, honestly, she's one of those women who could actually add to any women's roster. So if AEW is smart, they would sign her. But I think she might do better
alongside her buddy Marina Shafir, though.
I mean, I think she might go. I think she might do better. Honestly, going back to Stardom, because recently, little tangent here. Stardom actually, a bunch of women wrestlers left Stardom, including top wrestlers Tam Nakano, the icon Mayu Iwatani, who's literally been there since day one, and Tekla, who will play a factor later. But like, it's crazy. Like she left. Let me look at my list here. Cora Jade was a big shock solely because Punk had really, really big, a big factor in her career, especially her and Roxanne Perez. So it was really surprising that they let her go. But I do think, obviously, I think she'll be back at some point later. I mean, maybe give her a couple of years in the indies, let her hone her craft. Gigi Dolan, she got let go.
Yeah, her too. So I wonder if she's going to go back to being her real, her real name, Priscilla Kelly. I wonder if she'll be going back to that or not.
Probably. Jakara Jackson was tag team with Lash Legend. Apparently,
who was it? Sorry.
Jakara Jackson. She was the other half of Metaphor. She was let go. Lash Legend stayed, obviously, because she's the bigger star. But apparently, I can't remember what her new name is. Apparently, she is booked for a show in Baltimore against Masha Slamovich. So, I mean, she's starting to get work again. Caden Carter and Katana Chance.
Remember her.
Both got let go. Javier Bernal, I don't know who that is. Oro Mensa, one of the other people from Metaphor. So 2 out of 4 of Metaphor are gone. Riley Osborne, who was a part of Chase University, was also let go. And from what I read, the reason Braun Strowman got let go had partial to do with his actions during the WWE roast.
The famous roast that got
the horrifying roast, if you look at the transcript, is terrible. But it wasn't so much that he, bad jokes, bad taste jokes. That wasn't what happened. apparently the biggest thing that was like, what the hell? Braun Strowman apparently got so drunk he ripped off his shirt, threw it in the crowd, and was like running up and down on the stage. And I'm just like, okay, a guy that big should not ever be drunk or rowdy in any group capacity. So yeah, I could see why people would get scared because it's like, granted, I would pay good money to see the footage of that, but again, that's speculation. But yeah, those are the major people who have been let go from WWE thus far. Oh, and apparently, I know recently Zoe Stark severely re-damaged her knee, so she's going to be out for a couple months.
Yeah, I was saying, I was mentioning somewhere that's like a weird coincidence because Zoe Stark, Gigi Dolan, and Cora Jade all got in there at the same time. Two got released, and then the one that stayed.
There was two other people. There was Shotzi Blackheart was also let go, and what the hell's her name? She's the other one of Pure Fusion Collective. What the hell was
Chelsea Green still with them or no?
Who?
Chelsea Green.
No, Chelsea Green. No, it was Tatum Paxley was the third girl.
Okay.
But no, I'm trying to remember. Oh, God, who was the other girl? She's like the MMA girl. I can't remember what her name is. Anyway, she was let go. So really, the only person left was Zoe Stark, and then she gets injured.
So yeah, that's the thing. The only one that survived was Zoe Stark, and now she's injured for like it's one of those like year,
like at least 8-9 months. Like she's out. Yeah, it's like damn.
Oh man. Now I've been hearing rumors, people complaining and stuff. Is WWE starting to get kind of bad again? I guess they're not liking like Cena being overused again and whatever else.
I think it's the rivalry, our current rivalry is going on. I think some may be having an issue with, or that this is not his final run and how it's being booked.
I think they're more upset with the problem is that their expectations are not being met as far as like what they expected it to happen. The expectations were so high after Cody that people had like preset these ideas in their mind. And sure, we all wanted to see Cena become 17 and break Ric Flair's record, but ever since and it's not just the way he won it, it's the fact that he's still stale as shit. Like, I mean, like it's not, he's really, really gotten bad in the ring. Like, it's not even like, it's not like just, oh, he's doing shit heel tactics. It's like, dude, you are really out of it. Like you are really bad. And like
the ring
obvious.
Rust,
huh? Like ring callousness. Yeah, it's like crazy. I'm like, dude, I'm sorry, but like, and like I said, he keeps cheating and all this shit. And then I keep hearing complaints about Carmelo Hayes not getting booked. And then and I'm just like, dude, I'm in the mindset of let them cook. And the one thing I love about WWE is at least there's like 10 things going on, so there's at least like one or two things I can attach myself to. AEW gives me nothing, so I'm just like, okay. Like but one thing that was also a history-making shocking moment was Trick Williams, a WWE NXT talent, is now the TNA World Champion, having beaten Joe Hendry for the title.
Oh, jeez.
So a contracted WWE wrestler is the TNA World Champion.
Oh wow, that's something that never would have happened back in the Vince days. That's for sure.
Never. I mean, the fact that Joe Hendry even showed up at WrestleMania with the TNA belt, that would have never happened in WWE.
Oh,
and
wow.
I also have a little bit of insider information in regards to good old Vinny. Apparently, he is no longer on speaking terms with Hunter or Stephanie.
Oh.
That's from multiple sources I read.
I heard about that.
Which I'm just like, he's probably upset because he's like, what have you done to my child? And I'm like, and she's like, I'm your child, Dad. He's like, yeah, but you're not the good one. That's not good shit. That's my theory anyway. But yeah, so anything that makes Vince suffer makes me happy. So I'm
Oh God.
Oh goodness.
Anyway,
Okay, now we can start.
What I like about this, to be honest.
Exactly. So moving on.
Okay, now let's start with the actual event here. I don't think there's anything else that major going on. Oh, there's one thing I did want to say.
Oh wait, did you guys ever talk about Sabu passing?
No.
Oh, what?
No,
Yeah,
not-
yeah.
maybe
There wasn't a
happened.
podcast around that general time, but yeah, Mr.
Yeah.
Sabu did
Yeah,
pass,
the
and of
legendary
course we
Sabu.
said respects to him.
Yeah, like I'm like he was. It's crazy that he died like a few weeks after his final match.
Mhm.
It's really crazy. I was like, wow, because it happened WrestleMania weekend. But yeah, I mean, like he truly was like one of those guys who really was an innovator in the ring. Like he actually made like high flying cool, like high flying hardcore wrestling. Like he blended it so perfectly. I don't know how the hell he did the way he did it. Like I still to this day love when he took the chair and he just ran and dove and like landed like on people, or like every time someone folds out a chair and uses it as a springboard, like that's straight up out of his playbook.
No, man. Yeah, one last
I'm
thing I
just
do want to
happy.
mention.
I'm sad he's gone.
Yeah, I know. He was a legend, and it's cool because for so many different companies too. You know, not
He is
just-
pretty much in practically almost every single promotion or some way or some connection to it at some point, you know?
When he
Yeah.
died, every promotion said thank you, Sabu. Like no Japan, no joke. All Japan, New Japan, AAA, CMLL, WWE, TNA, AEW, Ring of Honor, all of them. He's worked for all of them. I'm like, damn. Like literally everyone said thank you. I think even Puerto Rico Pro Wrestling, like they even said that. I'm like, damn. But he was really everywhere. But like I said, it's kind of crazy how much he did and what he did. And that I did see that segment that Taz said, that little very sweet tribute. That really made me happy. I wish Paul could have said one. I mean, because Paul knew Sabu really, really well, or Rob's was really nice, but yeah, it's sad that he's gone, but it's
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we didn't have, it didn't happen around any time of any pay-per-view that, you know, for us to bring it up. That's the thing. But yeah, you know, he's a legend, gone too soon. One thing I was gonna say, one thing that came up when we were watching one of the Cornet podcastings is how the AEW roster page is horribly like outdated and everything. But the funny thing is though, that Mariah May was let go or quit or whatever, and they took her off the page. So I'm looking at the
And
roster
Abaddon.
page right now.
Wait, but let's give a little context. So the thing is, what he was doing was he was trying to they're going through the women's roster, the male roster, but he also was doing it for WWE as well. You know, who he would keep and who he would get rid of based on, you know, what's listed on the page. So he did the women's roster and then he started doing the male roster. And then we were like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
You're mentioning people we haven't seen in forever.
Yeah, or
You
people
know?
that we know they're already gone. So I'm
Yeah.
looking at the site right now because I want to make sure it didn't change between then and now. But as of right now, as of May 31st, you know, when this is filmed, because it might be different by the time you guys are watching it, is Danhausen is still on there.
Yeah, he's officially been gone for a good while.
Yeah. Let me see. I don't want to say Kingston
I think
because
he's mostly been
he's
doing
probably-
brand. I think he's mostly doing like brand ambassador work. He's kind of just like
But he's
showing
still
up
with
at
AEW
places.
though.
I don't think
Apparently, I think he's
He
mostly
was-
signed with Ring of Honor still.
so. I thought
I haven't
No.
seen him. I haven't seen him on live.
I heard him do an interview like a few months ago, and I'm pretty sure he is
Oh,
not
you know
with
what?
AEW.
I just remembered the reason he's been gone. His wife just had their first kid.
Keith Lee is still on the page.
And I guess it's for what they're pointing out. Is like you got all these people on the roster.
Yeah, I'm just
They
reading out
haven't
these
been
names
seeing it
and
forever,
reactions.
which means either they're officially gone or they're still at home collecting a check.
Yeah. I'm trying to see. Oh my God, Ortiz is still on the page. How the fuck is Ortiz on there? I'm sure he's like gone already. Like what the hell?
Well, Mike Santana's killing it in TNA.
Oh,
He's
Colt
like a top
Cabana
guy
is
in
also
TNA.
on the page.
Wait, ain't he gone?
Colt Cabana.
Ain't he gone?
That's what I'm saying. Now this one, Abaddon is officially gone. We've seen the report. She is gone, and yet she's still here on the page.
And so
Soraya
Soraya's still there.
Soraya's still on the page. Let me see anyone else that stands out. Just feel.
Is
Oh,
Abaddon
Camille
still on the page?
is still on the. Who?
Abaddon.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
officially out.
she quit too. She's gone.
Yeah,
So
but she's
what the
still
hell?
on here.
Yeah, but she's still on the
And
page.
Camille's still on the page. I don't know if she's gone or still with them or what.
And then Soraya.
Soraya,
I
especially
know
Soraya, she's still on
injured.
there.
I know Camille is injured right now, but I know Soraya is 100% gone. Which
Yeah.
I still think the rumor is that both Soraya is going to come back as Paige, and Mariah May are both going to show up in July. They're bringing back the WWE pay-per-view Evolution with all women. So it seems
I remember that.
Now that one I'm actually watched.
yeah, it's going to be an all women's pay-per-view. Now, I said this to some of my friends, and they agree with me. I think this is a perfect opportunity now that you have a working relationship with them, have some of the knockouts in this pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Dude, like have Masha Slamovich defend the knockouts title on a WWE pay-per-view against I don't care who, whatever. Like have the NXT women's, the US, like you have all these titles for women. Use them.
Yeah, and now they actually got a more developed roster because honestly speaking, at First Evolution, they had so few women. They had to grab all the NXT newbies and like the classics like Beth Phoenix and Lita and all that because they didn't have a regular roster to have.
It felt more like if someone you would throw a few in for a Royal Rumble just to have like a spot on the card. Didn't say that they're there.
Yeah, they kept bringing back. Remember when they first did the first 2 years of Women's Royal Rumble? They just brought back, hey, remember her? Hey, remember her? Hey,
you got boobs, you're in.
Remember Michelle McCool? It's like, no. Remember Kelly? No. All right. Also, I found out something really shocking. Did you know that Charlotte is older than Kelly?
Ooh. Maybe that's why she's doing all the surgeries and stuff, so the age doesn't catch up to her. Just that's really backfiring, but
I just like, I'm like, wow. I found that out. I was like, maybe she should retire at this point.
Oh my God. All right. Well, anyways, guys, let's start with the actual pay-per-view. We're going to start off with the buy-in. They actually had two matches here. So the first one was a tag team of Anna Jay with Hardy Cameron going up against Megan Bayne and Penelope Ford. And now Penelope Ford is like wearing similar outfits and stuff, so they look more like a legit tag team and not just like Megan and her little lackey. So that's that's something, I guess. But of course, we all remember that one move that was done near the beginning of the match,
which I actually missed.
Oh God! Oh yeah, you're in a bathroom or something. Where Penelope, where Anna Jay, which ironically she did have the biggest bottom of all the women in that particular match. It was laying down, on her belly, all that laying down, and what's her face? Hardy Cameron grabbed Penelope Ford by the hair and was like kneel or something, and jammed her face in what's her name? Anna Jay's ass.
So that's who. Oh, I just know it probably was Penelope that suffered.
Yeah. So Penelope got to eat some ass on pay-per-view. It's like I guess it's like the buy-in. It's like, yo, they got girls eating ass. Where's my credit card? That's how you do a buy-in. I remember DJF skipped down the pay-per-view and he's like, whoa, there's girls eating ass. Like, do I regret not buying this pay-per-view? We were doing all the jokes and all the stuff. Johnny, what's your reaction on that? And I want to see your thought on just that moment before we get back to the rest of the match.
Honestly, I don't remember about the whole match, but just that part, now that you mentioned it, I was like, what the hell is going on here? That's what I was thinking.
Ford is doing what Jungle Boy is.
My mind was just like, kind of like, okay, par for the course, I guess, at this point. Like nothing really shocks me right now. Like at this point, I'm shocked she hasn't like used the puppet on a girl. You know what I mean? I'm surprised that hasn't happened yet. Mark my words, it will. I'm surprised
I think Tony Khan would be too squeamish for that.
It's just like I think Vince Russo takes over half of the time with the writing. That's all I'm gonna say.
That reminds me. We watched the Karate Kid the new one. And like, you know, you always have like the bad bully type character. So the guy who is like, I guess training him or coaching him or whatever, the bad influence,
Yeah,
you know,
the guy
whatever.
running the dojo with the bad kids
He looks like fucking Vince Russo.
and everything.
And I kept joking, you know, like, yeah, hit him hard, bro. Sweep the leg, bro.
I
You
know. I mean, you know, you up there saying stuff like that, I'm trying not to laugh because I'm just thinking. It's like,
Don't want to. Don't listen to that wax on, wax off shit. They can go wax off themselves, bro. I'll tell you what real karate is, bro. We learned it in the mean streets of Jersey.
Yep. So, anyways, any other notes on the rest of the match before we give our final thoughts there?
okay, so there are a few things here. So that kind of stood out. Harley did end up doing a double DDT.
Oh, on both the girls. Yeah,
Yeah.
both and slammed them both down.
Let's see. Then Megan did a double German suplex. Megan Bain did that.
Showing off the strong.
And then here's another part where apparently Megan Bain grabbed Penelope and tossed her threw her over the ring like as a weapon onto
Onto the other
and,
two girls.
and Harley and so and then Harley ended up later on pinning Penelope for the win.
Yeah, she did her finisher, which is literally called finishing move, and she got the pin and everything.
Mhm.
And there we go. But yeah, it was a pretty interesting match because a lot of times the buy-in ones are kind of like whatever, but this one was memorable because Hardy Styles was such a crazy character. You know, she's great in character work and ring work, and I mean something that cheesy too.
I mean, she's getting a little better. I
That
would
she's
say.
calling it like the finishing move, literally called that. I mean, it kind of goes.
It's like the laziness, like with what's his face, right?
There was one thing I forgot to mention. Apparently, Deonna Purrazzo was recently on a podcast, and she was like talking about how she feels like really upset and like kind of like not betrayed, but just kind of more like heartbroken at the fact that AEW doesn't want put her on TV at all, like even in Ring of Honor, because she's like, they told me like we want to hire you because you're one of the best women's wrestlers, and then they never use me. So I'm like, what? Why am I here? And then like I guess her and Thunder Rosa both feel the same way. Thunder Rosa's not gonna say anything, but Deonna doesn't give a shit. But I'm like, I kind of agree. I'm like, yeah, where is Deonna? She's one of the best submission wrestlers on the planet. Like, fucking use her, man.
One thing I can say about Thunder Rosa is that I feel like she's more like, I think she's kind of smart about it in certain aspects because she has the plan B. Like she does the whole YouTube, the whole Instagram, all that, social media stuff. So I think that kind of helps her a little bit, considering that AEW also doesn't really do much with Thunder Rosa. So I think at least Thunder Rosa has like a plan B.
Yeah, but at the same time, Thunder Rosa has repeatedly, like, if she says something that makes the place look bad, like she's randomly apologizing because of it, and I'm just like, okay, like, so she wouldn't have to apologize if there was nothing to apologize for, I don't know.
Yeah.
Ranto.
Well, the other thing, as far as I know, Deonna is tag teaming with like Tyler Valkyrie or something like that. But the thing is, it's mostly Ring of Honor, and someone like Deonna's, I guess, stature, she should be feuding with either Mercedes or Tony, even if she loses in the end. But she still should be feuding week in, week out. Jumping Mercedes backstage, all that kind of storyline stuff. But
Mm-hmm. All right.
So, any thoughts on the match, real quick, before we move on to the next one and announce who won and who lost? And
it was just fine. It was just kind of a fine opening. It was goofy. That's pretty much it. It was just kind of goofy, but it was fine. It was fun. It was like, okay, cool.
So who took that one?
All right, so for this one, let's see. The winners of the match, as mentioned, were Anna Jay and Harley. So let's see. The only ones who get a point for this match were Mark and William because everybody else figured that Bain and Ford would win.
Yeah. I mean, maybe Bain is the tougher one, but Penelope took the pin for this one. So next we got this other big tag team or triple threat match. I'm sorry, like a trio, 3-on-3.
Yeah,
I'll say that.
it was the RPG Vice or whatever it was with Team Crew versus Los Titanes, Bandito, and AR Fox. I didn't really think much of it. I can't remember. See, the problem with matches like these, because they're involving luchas, and the luchas, they do all the flipping stuff. I can't keep up. I still root for them to win just because, but it's just whatever. But I will still say this. I really like AR Fox, and I really do feel he's underutilized and he's underrated.
Yeah. And the other thing too is that it's just too fast. Even when you're taking notes, by the time you're knowing that they did whatever, they did like 3 or 4 other things. You know what I mean? It's just too crazy, fast-paced wrestling. But we did have a couple of real notes here and there.
Yeah, Action Andretti apparently got a busted nose during the match.
Yeah.
Which I kind of forgot till I read
But
that.
I'm sure that I don't think that was on purpose. That looked like he did get busted up unplanned.
But I just forgot what caused the what happened from the get his nose busted. I thought AR Fox was really cool for this match, honestly, and the Luchas did a 4-way splash.
Yeah, they all splashed on their respective opponents and everything.
Mhm. And the winner of the matches were the Luchas and AR Fox.
Mm-hmm.
And for this one, everyone gets a point except for Jack.
Oh, he was the contrarian.
Yes.
I could have sworn I I voted for them. All right. Well, I think it's because I just I don't know. I'm just kind of my mindset's just like I thought he was gonna do some I thought Rocky was gonna do some shit heel stuff, but he doesn't. So I was like, all right.
Any quick thoughts, Johnny?
It's kind of like those matches, kind of like what Wendy says that with the whole lucha libre thing, everybody's going so fast and everybody doing so much like flippy shit left and right. It's kind of hard to keep track who is who sometimes.
Yep.
And on the contrary, I personally believe like Leo Rush is a little bit underrated. Like they don't really use him that much, in my opinion. Like he is a very good wrestler, but they kind of put him like in the shadow for the most part. But I'm just glad that Bandito won the match.
All right, so now it's time for the main show, the main card. And because we still have the Owen Cup nonsense going on, well, it wouldn't be nonsense if they actually treat it like it meant something. So the opening of the pay-per-view is with the women's final, semi-final Owen Cup, and for the ending, and they're going to end it with the male one. So the first match on the card is Mercedes Moné versus Jamie Hayter for the women's semi-final Owen tournament. And we had quite a few here.
Lots of notes.
Yeah. So for this one, Mercedes started out pretty harsh for she was very aggressive towards Jamie. Let me see. Jamie did have Mercedes in a single leg crab thing.
Yeah.
That was
And that was pretty intense for her.
Yeah.
Thing.
Jamie
Then she got her into a straight jacket, right? She got her into a straight jacket.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah. See what else happened here. Jamie had both legs hooked on the rope, but then Mercedes did a little jump with both her knees on her. Okay, I do remember that now. She did have her in the camel clutch. Mercedes had Hayter in the camel clutch.
Yeah, I was joking about trying to make her humble.
You. Let's see. Then we have let's see. Mercedes did Three Amigos. As the camera was super zoomed out and we really couldn't see, because the angle, you couldn't really fully see it very well.
Yeah, I was like, why did they just suddenly pan out now? Because they never pan out when NJ or Sky Blue are on screen.
I noticed that they do that a lot. I think on this pay-per-view, like whenever the wrestlers are doing like spectacular moves, they would just pan out the camera so far. And I'm like, what are you doing, dude? Like, zoom in. You want to see what the hell's going on here.
They're zooming out because they're trying to find where Anna Jay and Sky Blue are.
Let's see. What else happened here? Mercedes did 5 backstabbers, or at least that's what I was counting. Then she put her in a submission to a front face lock. Then Jamie went for her clothesline, but Mercedes grabbed her for a DDT mixed with like a roll up and a pin.
Yeah,
it was kind of
Actually, I'm going to correct you there. I'm going to correct you there. What happened was, if you rewatch it, Mercedes severely botched the DDT and spiked her straight down on her head. And like her, if you rewatch it, her neck went like that. Like she actually almost broke her neck doing that. So the reason she did the roll up, yeah.
Yeah, because remember I was saying it looked weird because I was like, we were trying to figure out what it was she was trying to do. So that's what we were thinking. Maybe it was a DDT combined with the roll up, but it didn't look right and it didn't make sense.
Yeah,
But-
she literally botched the DDT and was like, oh shit, and then turned it into a roll up to make it look good. But she
And I
literally
guess-
botched it and almost broke her neck. Yeah.
So I'm assuming the DDT was probably the original finish, but because she botched it, she just turned it into a roll up.
Wow.
Yeah.
So before that potentially career-ending botch, I do have to say she was doing good during most of the match because Mercedes was pulling out all kinds of submission moves and grabs and holds. She was doing actual
Yeah.
wrestling. My goodness.
It
And
was honestly, I legitimately will say, it felt like she was bringing out a lot of her shit she did from NXT, which I loved. I think that was like her peak style of wrestling back in NXT, and she's been kind of like coasting for a long time. But it felt like she brought a lot of her old school stuff from NXT, where she would do submissions and grapples and stuff. Which I'm like, use it. You have the skills. But now, it like watching that, I'm like, this is Sasha Banks. I know they call her Mercedes. That's Sasha Banks. That's the Sasha Banks I know.
Mhm.
So what did you think, Johnny?
Okay, so for this match, I was actually surprised how well Mercedes fought this match. Oh, one quick note. Have you guys noticed that the announcer kept saying Mercedes money instead of Monet?
They do that too. They do
Mercedes
money and
Mo.
Monet. Yeah, they do it both.
But I also kind of like a little off on that because I'm like, it's supposed to be Monet, right?
Yep.
But nothing major, nothing,
I
whatever.
don't
But
really know because they keep changing it every now and again. When she wrestles in Japan, sometimes they say Mercedes money. So I don't know. I really don't know what the hell her name. I just call her Mercedes Hogan. Makes it easier for me.
Mercedes Banks. There you go.
But yeah, in this match, it was very surprising. She actually fought good. She actually, made herself look really good in this match. Now, personally, do I agree with her winning this match? No, not really. I still think that Jamie Hayter should have won this one. Especially the audience. The audience was really, really rooting for Jamie Hayter to win this one. So it was still a good match. It was still very intense, and there were many close calls where Jamie Hayter could have actually have won this one, but I just wish that was the end result instead of Mercedes Money or Mercedes Monet winning this match again, because it gets a little too repetitive after a while.
I agree. And here's another. Here's something else interesting about this. Don't know if it was someone brought up a little theory here. If you noticed it, Mercedes was wearing a lot of pink. She had pink in her outfit or her hair or whatever it was.
Oh, I
And
can
in
tell
the-
you why. I don't know if you already know.
And then in the Owen Hart match, I mean, with the guys match, also there was some pink there. There's a theory as to why that was, and I didn't think about it.
Which turned out to be true in the end.
Yeah. Well,
What was
we
the
said-
theory? Because like I can tell you why. I didn't know if you.
Well, the theory we had is because the Owen Hart tournament had all the pink. It's such a coincidence that the people that are wearing all the pink happen to be the
won.
one win.
Well, it's actually twofold. So, the reason Mercedes' hair was pink or whatever is actually because the same day that Owen Hart passed away was also the same day Hana Kimura died. So
yeah,
it's
that's
partially a tribute to her and partially a tribute to him because it's pink. Her hair was always pink, so it's kind of like a half and half
Yeah.
kind of tribute. So I loved it. I mean, it is weird, I will say, and kind of a creepy coincidence that the day Owen Hart died, the day Hana Kimura died, is also Bray Wyatt's birthday. Like that's
goodness.
weird. I'm like, no, just the coincidence of that. I'm like, that's kind of crazy. Like that's really kind of crazy when you think you're like, ooh, That's a weird coincidence. So like you don't really think about stuff like that, and then you go, huh, that is kind of cool. Weird and cool that they're all kind of affiliated with that day. It's kind of cool.
Mm.
That's it. My opinion on the match. Oh, that's for my opinion on the match. Like I said, it was all right. Like I said, except for that weird, with the weird finish.
So at least not
But-
know it's a botch.
Yeah, and the other thing I can say is Mercedes actually like she was trying, so I'll give her credit for that. Now
I will say though, one last thing. I will say the match with her and Athena, 100 times better than this one.
Mm.
I love Athena for that match. Oh, that was a good match. But okay, so the winner of the match, as we already know, is Mercedes, and everyone gets a point except for Mark and DJF.
Mm.
They both went for hater.
Hey, we drank the
That
hater.
didn't work for her, brother.
Mm-mm.
Oh yeah, there's a
That
meme
didn't
about
work
that.
for her, brother.
They have a meme of Mercedes with like they photoshopped like the Hogan hair and the mustache on it, and it's kind of like, hey Mercedes, do you think you could put Jamie Hayter over to pay-per-view? Doesn't work for me, brother.
Well, it's so funny because people have taken the clip because she said it. She owned up to the fact that she has creative control over her character. She said it
Yeah.
Yeah.
in an interview. So people are taking clips of her going, I'm the greatest, I'm the best. And then the clip of like, well, I have full creative control. And it's like, no one can beat me. I'm the ES, I'm this, I'm this. It's like, well, I have creative control. Like they just keep slicing that clip.
Oh god. Oh, the other thing too is speaking of memes and things. Since we all know that the CM Punk is, I don't know, I guess a mentor to Cora Jade and everything. She looked up to him when she was a kid. Now she's actually wrestling, all that stuff. They have that picture, that footage we had of CM Punk getting into Perry's face or whatever, and they put like the little titles like CM. Here's a clip of CM Punk confronting Triple H about Cora's release or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, the one where they use like, you bald fraud. Is that the one?
Yeah.
I love that meme where he's talking about The Rock. That shit made me laugh. Anyway.
All right, so our next match is FTR versus Daniel Garcia with Nigel McGuinness. And this match started up because FTR is all heel and crap now. They're trying to make him relevant again. I wish I cared. And FTR, they were like messing with Tony and Nigel and all of them.
Well, it got to the point that Nigel got so pissed they actually got into the ring and tried to step up and everything.
Yeah, and that is why Nigel is wrestling this match with Daniel Garcia. Nigel was trying to apologize, and Daniel's like, just get in the ring and fight with me and go against them, but what they did wasn't right. And I'm sorry, I don't care about Daniel Garcia either.
But Tony Schiavone must be avenged.
Yes, he must.
Yeah. That's one thing I gotta say though, Jack, that they've been doing this kind of stuff nowadays, because I don't remember any of that back in the 80s. And I don't remember any storyline where any wrestler like put his hands on Okerlund or something and have Hogan or someone be like, "Oh, you messing with me, Gene Okerlund, that's going too far, brother." Like we don't see like the interviewers getting like
someone would have done that. I could see Hogan being like the one to like defend him.
Yeah.
The only time I ever saw that happen, actually, there was one time, and it was Bobby the Brain Heenan, because they called him a weasel, and then like he challenged him to a fight to dress like a weasel or something stupid like that. But that was back in like the 80s, and it was like, yeah, it was like, but that was like a one and done, and Heenan wasn't ever really like a wrestler. But I remember they tried doing that repeatedly. You probably remember, Mark. They kept repeatedly doing that shit in like the mid to early 2000s, where it was like, well, we're gonna bring back Jerry Lawler. I'm like, who gives a shit?
Yeah.
They kept having Jerry Lawler, and then that one time they had Taz come back for wrestling. That was weird. Like other than that, like, and then occasionally, very rarely, you'll have JBL, which I'm like sitting here thinking, wait a minute, why the fuck has Wade Barrett not come back to wrestling? Like he's still in good shape. So I'm like, just for like a one and done. But I'm just like, I agree with you. I'm like, if you're on commentary, in my mind, you're done.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's like a temporary thing, like what happened with Punk or Macho Man, where it's like, oh, we're going to sideline you for a bit while you recover and keep you on TV. Other than that, I don't want to see no commentators involved or in a wrestling ring. Like,
Oh,
piss off.
and I know, and I definitely don't want to see it like as a main event thing, like Jerry Lawler and Adam and Cole and
Michael
God,
Cole, yeah.
that was
Yeah.
just such a waste of space on that
And
card.
that was
I
a
remember yelling at the
WrestleMania
screen.
match. Never forget, folks, that was a WrestleMania match.
Okay, anyways, back to the notes of this
Sorry, guys.
match.
But
Okay,
this match, I will say, this was like legitimately one of the most boring fucking matches. I was like,
Really?
I was watching the whole time and I'm just sitting there thinking, I don't care about anyone in this match. And I should care at least about Nigel McGuinness.
Yeah,
But I'm
that's
also
what kept
like,
me
dude,
watching.
I'm like, dude, you shouldn't be in the ring anymore. I mean, like, not just because he's in, I'm not saying he can't wrestle. I'm just saying, like, at this point in you don't need to prove anything. Like, it's him and, like, Shibata. Like, you've fucking proven your point. Like, leave. And it's kind of that point. And I'm like, and the fact that they involved Tony Schiavone, since when did anyone give two shits about Tony Schiavone enough to fight for him? Even Sting, when he comes out, Sting wouldn't have even gone like, I'll save you, Schiavone, with his bat. Like, could you see Sting? No. Who gives a shit? His angry looking ass where it would cut back to the commentary team and like Excalibur's like, oh my God, I can't believe it. And Schiavone's like, and you want to defend that guy? The guy who literally is like, he looks like he's angrily waiting for the bus to take him to divorce court. You want to defend that guy? That's the guy you're like, and it's like, oh, he's the voice of AEW. I'm like, is he? Really? I think of Taz more when I think of AEW.
I was about to say that. I said I would defend Taz before I would defend Tony.
I would defend Taz. I would defend Taz to save my life. I'm like, he at least is entertaining. It's kind of like I see Taz in the same way I see, like, Taz reminds me a lot of like he's like Booker T to me. Like, you may not think they're the best commentators, but damn it, are they entertaining? Like, they are so entertaining. They keep you invested in what's going on. I mean, he's a meme on Botchamania, for crap's sake. That's hilarious. The I digress. Every time you watch an AEW show or WWE show, you'll see the cartoon version of Taz that says I digress. You'll see it somewhere.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and there's people holding signs, I digress sometimes, and behind them and everything.
Like, you call the freaking match. Like, I love Taz.
Anyway, so back to the notes here, because there's a couple.
Yeah, so for this nonsense match, so now we got thrown into the announce desk about multiple times. Cash went over there and rubbed Tony's head, and this had me just laughing my head off because of how silly it sounded. Because Tony Adams said, "Get out of here, you jerk! Get away from me!" And I just wanted him to say, "Leave me alone, you meanie!" It's just so terribly corny. It was just awful. Anyway, Daniel Garcia did seem to be missing for a bit while Nigel was doing all the works. Like, okay, where did Daniel go? I mean, I don't think you caught it, but I did. So I just put that in there. And I forgot why, but I really, really, really hated the ref for this match. Who knows why? Probably they saw things they should have been seeing. They're looking straight at it. God, I hate the refs of AEW. Oh. And it was Nigel that actually grabbed Cat and made him apologize to Tony.
It was funny because he kept grabbing him and stuff, and he wouldn't let go because Schiavone was all like, what was that? I'm sorry. I didn't catch that, just to drag it out,
Mm-hmm. And then later on, Nigel did get double teamed. And then Tony went to check on him. And was it the shatter machine or what was
he used the shatter machine on the floor. So he was down and out. And Tony was like checking up on him and stuff like that.
Yeah, okay. Later on we had that Nigel and Garcia, grabbed Dax in the Tower of London move, and then Dax still kicked out of it because of course.
Yeah.
Because of course he did. And then both members of FTR, Dax and Cash, they actually used sharpshooters. And Stokely tried to get in, but around Daddy Magic kept him out. Sorry, he just don't fit shirts anymore. That's why you don't wear them. That's all I gotta say. Seems like all the stuff that he do would probably do him, to get all hyped up and slim him down a bit, but he's still kind of round. Let me stop. Like I can talk, right? Dax slammed Garcia off the ropes. Cash landed with a splash. And Nigel broke the pin. But then Daniel ended up passing out because Dax had him in a sharpshooter after using 2 pile drivers on him. And of course they're like announcing it like, oh, the adrenaline and all that other stuff. How was he surviving? And all this other stuff. I say, okay, realistically, if I were to take this seriously, he should have been down after the first pile driver. I mean, I miss the days when moves that should be finishers were treated like they were finishers, like they were big deals. Not like everybody can do them and anybody can kick out of them. I just hate that now. I really, really, really do. And since I'm not keeping up with WWE, like I used to, I can't help but wonder, since Jack, you still keep up with it, is it as much of an issue as AEW does?
I don't think that's
Does
normal. I remember people complaining.
does what cause an issue?
Multiple finishers, people kick out no matter what.
Not really. I mean, really, they've kind of made it like, they've really treated finishers with very much protected capacity. Like they don't really do kickouts of finishers unless it's like, it's not very super common. Generally, it will be like if someone hits a finisher in a triple threat and then another person breaks up, that's different. But like, they usually have been keeping the finishers like a finisher, which I'm like, that's kind of how it should be.
Yes.
I don't mind, because that's why it's called a finisher. It's meant to finish the match. But I'm like, it's one thing. I think at most it should be like a finisher, a pinfall, 1 kick out, and then do say like another finisher back to back, and then that's it. Like good example, Desperado does that with the Pinche Loco. He does his finisher. And then, like, if someone kicks out, he'll do it again and then hold the arms and do it one more time and then pin them. I'm like, yeah, that's fair. Or like Cody, when Cody does the crossroads and then like early in the match, someone kicks out, he'll like his ultimate finisher would be doing a triple crossroads, or I call it the triple cross. And then boom, pick up, boom, pick up, boom, pick up. I'm like, yeah, because at that point, if you still kick out, like that's gonna be fucking ridiculous.
That is my problem with some of these AEW matches. They actually do that so much, it's annoying.
Because they treat it like an indie show. And indie shows, they're like, well, we want to make it look cool, you guys. We got to make sure you spend your money on our collector's cups. And everyone's like, no one gives a shit when I'm paying I'm paying $10 and a hot dog for a fucking wrestling show. I literally love that meme whenever you see like a crazy wrestling show and someone goes, all this for $20 and a hot dog, like or $10 and a handshake, and it's always like someone like falling through like LED lights and like barbed wire.
It said DD. I mean, I'm just saying like Jake, he did his DDT, match over. What's name did his leg drop, match over. Rock did the people's.
That's
elbow.
why it was such a shock, because you remember, I know you remember, Mark, and I know Wendy has seen it. The shocking moment of when Shawn at WrestleMania 25 when he kicked out of the tombstone.
Yeah, because that dude,
everyone was
like
like
always super protected.
Yep,
because that was it. That was like a most protected move you could have. It's like, what? Like, what just happened?
Yeah, so
like that's what you need to do. But like with Ospreay, good example. Ospreay has 4 finishers. And he does all 4, and people still kick out. It's like, God damn it.
Then that finishes.
How many V triggers does Kenny Omega do per match?
Oh, Kenny's got the V trigger, but I mean, at least the One Winged Angel is protected. I hope. I don't know. I haven't watched it lately. Does someone kick out of it now?
No, not yet. Not that I've seen.
Okay. Anyway, go on with what you're saying.
Right. No, I was just wondering if WWE is just as bad as that at this point. 'Cause I don't remember it ever being that way in WWE or WWF or anything like that. But AEW is just so guilty of it. It gets annoying. It's like, how can I take this seriously? That your move is supposed to be so powerful and they kick out stuff. And then I'm just like, and then they finish them with something they should be able to kick out of. It's just stupid.
Oh, you know what? What else I'm tired of AEW? The referees always getting distracted, like for too long of a time. Like they get distracted for, yeah, and it's like,
That reminds me of Ren Stimpy where they're grabbing like Ren or something, and the referee's looking, and he looks away. Bang, 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 bang.
No, but remember even
Bang,
worse.
bang, 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 bang.
I
It's like-
remember that episode. I remember the other one because he was just running the car with the ref wasn't looking.
It's literally AEW referees are like the guy in Michigan in the Looney Tunes episode with Michigan J. Frog. Hello, baby. Hello, my honey. Hello,
Oh yeah, when everyone looks, he's
It's
dead.
he's like I was like, motherfucker. That's one of the reasons I absolutely love Red Shoes Uno from New Japan, because if he even sees a hint at shenanigans, he won't count. He will not count it. He'll just like, and that's why I love him. Like one of my favorite ones was against the Bullet Club. It was a match with AJ Styles, and he was leading the Bullet Club. Oh no, it was Kenny. Kenny was leading the Bullet Club, and it was a match for like I think the never openweight title, and the Young Bucks had done like a double super kick, and then Carl Anderson had done like a magic killer, and this was all outside the ring while Tokyo Pimp was distracting him, and then Kenny brought him in the ring, and then he covered him, and Red Shoes goes like this. He goes, he sees it. He's like, he goes down. And he goes. I'm like, yes, thank you. I'm like, that's why I love it. And everyone's like, oh, it was so funny. The crowd was like, oh, I love Red Shoes Uno because like recently Clark Connors, don't ask me why, Clark Connors has been using a full ass tire as a weapon, and and I don't know why Clark Connors from the Bullet Club has been using a weapon. His name has nothing to do with a tire, but it's still kind of cool. And he calls him Mr. Tire, and he beats the shit out of people with it. It's a full ass spare tire. And I'm watching the Best of Super Juniors, which, by the way, Nick Wayne killing it on it. He is really killing it. And like the Japanese girls love him. They're like Niku, like when he wrestles. Anyway, I know, right? And he uses the tire, and I remember at one point he used the tire, and Red Shoes saw him do it because like they don't want to break it up for tournaments because it's referee's discretion, and he brings in the tire to hit him, and then Red Shoes he's like pins him, and he's like, come on, count, and Red Shoes just sits on the tire. But no, to answer your question, no, they do preserve finishers. They do keep them safe for the most part. Okay, occasionally you'll get a rare kick out, which is more of a shock than anything because AEW does it so frequently.
Like it's supposed to be.
Because it's called a finisher. I mean, like imagine if you're playing Mortal Kombat and you go, finisher, finish him, and you do the fatality, and they go, now do it again. And it's like, what?
Like, do it again.
It's like, now one more time. God damn.
And so, Johnny, what did you think of this match?
I'm not a big fan of FTR. I'm just thinking that they lost their way and they got extremely heelish to the point where they're just not likable at all. And I just didn't like the fact that they defeated Daniel Garcia, even though he didn't really do much in the match, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, it was
kind of sucks that Daniel Garcia keeps losing in these matches, so I don't know what they're doing with him.
It's all I can say. So anyway, for this particular match, and I already gave my opinion is just, look, I don't know. I don't really care for the match. I mean, it had its moments, I guess, but mostly for the ridiculousness of the match.
Yeah, I like the shenanigans. I just like seeing Nigel back in the ring because I know it's like a one more time thing and whatever and stuff. And what was the other thing? Oh, I'm surprised that Dax didn't get busted open this time because he seems to do that a lot lately, but that didn't happen this time.
So the winner of this match, Jack and DJF went for Team FTR, and FTR won. Everyone else went for Garcia and Nigel. Okay, so our next match is the stretcher match.
Oh God.
With Ricochet versus Mark Briscoe, who is defending. Oh, sorry about that. What's his face? Because of the whole leg situation.
Oh, I forgot the wrestler's name. But there was
Zach
like a one
Gowen.
leg. There was like, huh?
Zach Gowen.
Yes. So the problem is that Ricochet was like messing with them. He got in the ring. They had a fight. He stole his leg and got into a confrontation. So Tony decided to, instead of suspend or fire Ricochet, hey, let's give you a match with a guy who doesn't really wrestle anymore.
And it's also missing a leg. I'm surprised that he didn't like come back with like some replacement leg or something. But no, he came over there and
Yeah. So Ricochet had that match with him, and of course, shenanigans. And
that wouldn't have happened if that one dude had an automail leg. He should have consulted Winry to get an automail leg, and that was Ricochet could not just pull that out. It's on there. But anyways,
Since when in the year who in the year 2025 thought, who would really help this storyline? Zach fucking Gowen. Like, in what universe does anyone give two shits about Zach Gowen? At this rate, I'm surprised they didn't book a match with like John Moxley versus I don't know, John Moxley versus Takeshita, and they're fighting for the honor of Disco Inferno. Like, who gives a shit? At this point, does anyone truly give a fuck about Zach Gowen? Because I didn't care about him back when Brock Lesnar beat his ass. I didn't care about him then. Now I really don't care about him.
And you remember for a while there was like some random indie wrestler that was like flipping pizzas mid-match.
Oh, I love him.
I'm
Luigi?
surprised he's out in there
Luigi.
somewhere in the main event or triple threat or something.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, at the point of it is like, it goes back to that thing I'm always saying, make me care. I don't give a shit about Zach Gowen. You don't need him to tell this story. You could just have Ricochet cheating repeatedly to win, and Mark Briscoe going, hey, y'all, let me tell you, I'm going to whoop your butt 6 ways from Sunday. I'm going to make you gurgle and chicken, like, or whatever the fuck Mark says. Half the time I don't really pay attention.
Diversifying his portfolio.
Half the time I don't really pay attention to what Mark says. I do love Mark, but sometimes his rants are hilarious. Like, if you ever find the clip, watch the clip where he was the Ring of Honor tag team champ and he was doing the weather. It was the funniest shit. You ever get a chance? He talks about how getting struck by lightning. It was the funniest shit. Anyway, I like this match because it reminded me a lot of Briscoe style. Reminded me a lot of like Cactus Jack back in WCW days. Like, he was really doing like the kind of floor mat, like boom. And also it was really cool for him to do the Sabu spot. That was really cool.
He did. He did do it. That's pretty cool.
I'm really irritated that they seem to not know what the hell to do with Ricochet, and considering like he's like talking about like, I'm taking seriously here. I'm like, is that why every time you're on TV someone just slaps your bald ass head? That's being taken seriously?
He's bald,
really?
But he's bald.
I'm like, but so is Mark. Like, Mark's bald too. I'm like,
but see, Stack usually bleeds, but Ricochet, I don't know. I wish I could slap him upside the head. I'd have a whole lot of fun with that.
It's like that joke my friend said. He's like, Ricochet in 2010. Hey, man, this guy's one of the greatest high flyers in the world. Ricochet in 2025. Isn't that guy dating Samantha? So, yeah.
So here's the notes here.
Oh yeah, a few little notes here. Oh, and let's see. Wow, we took quite a few notes.
Yeah, a lot of shit happened. Let's kind of get through.
Yeah, okay. So, oh yeah, I called this, we both agree, we called this the concussion match.
Oh yeah.
So let's see. Oh, there was this one spot where Ricochet tried to do the shooting star press, but he missed completely and landed right on the stretcher.
Yeah.
That
was like, I don't know who's supposed to land that thing.
Yeah, it looks very, very painful. Mark took out a table, but then Ricochet put it back, and the audience actually booed when he did that. And I'm like, oh, whatever. We don't need a table all the time. You know what I mean? Let's see. He took out a bucket of cleaning product and then Mark did, and then sprayed Ricochet's head and tried to clean it, and then swung. And then I forgot how it went, but the bucket got swung to his face or something. And then Mark did. Like I said, and Mark Briscoe did the Sabu thing, of course. And then Mark got sprayed in his eyes from whatever the cleaner was.
Lemon pledge.
Lemon pledge. Okay. Mr. Clean. No, it should have been Mr. Clean. Briscoe was bleeding, and then Ricochet slammed his head repeatedly into the stretcher, after the little cushion part is gone. And then he hit Ricochet in the face with a crutch, and then used the fire extinguisher on him. Then Ricochet pulled out scissors and then gouged Mark in the head. And then when Ricochet did use scissors, Mark ended up taking them away and he was going to hit him with it, but then Ricochet pulled out another pair of scissors from wherever.
Like the ambulance.
Oh, that's right. He didn't pull them out of. Oh, never mind. And then, and then he hit Mark with those, and then he landed. Then he used a low blow. He hit him with the spirit gun, and then threw Mark into the ambulance, closed the door, and won the match. You know how I feel about these kind of matches. I don't like bloody matches, so this is not my kind of match. I never like bloody matches, so.
I think bloody matches
are okay if they're used. I think bloody matches are good if they're used in like a limited capacity. But the problem is AEW has made the audience desensitized by the blood. So at this point, you're kind of like one-upping, like what more can you do?
Pretty much, and that's another thing. That's why I don't like the bloody matches. I mean, yeah, every once in a while I could see, but they do it so much and so often. I never really thought one way or the other about bloody matches, but watching AEW stuff has made me really just hate them.
Yeah.
And that's why I never watched stuff like ECW, because I knew they did a lot of the hardcore stuff, so I was never really fully into that. And that's what I'd be expecting. But
on a random side note, I also forgot to mention, there was something that kind of related to this. So apparently, according to inside sources, TNA is actually stopping they're not going to do like super bloody matches anymore. They had one last one, which I got to see live. I got to see a TNA couple TNA shows live recently, and they had a Steve Macklin versus Eric Young in a dog collar match, and it was so crazy. Like it was just like them beating the crap out of each other, like covered in blood. But they said that pretty much everyone said that's the final like blood match they're ever going to do in TNA. So like it was kind of like one last hurrah.
Hopefully because they don't sitting in the front row for that.
No, I was actually, you know what's funny? I was actually pretty close to the front row, I'm not going to lie. But it was still really cool. In fact, his cronies got blood on their shirt. So it was like they got beat up and they were sneaking by me. And like I could see all the blood that was like Eric Young went, yeah, on the shirt. And you could see it on them. Anyway, apparently the reason why is because both WWE and TNA, now that they're expanding and getting more views and more sponsors and merchandise, the sponsors really don't want to see that shit. They really don't. I mean, that's why Domino's cut ties with AEW because of the famous pizza cutter spot. And it's just like, yeah, because no one should see that stuff. That hardcore style.
Pizza cutter.
Like it.
Well, they had a picture-in-picture of a Domino's commercial. It's like the most awkward timing.
homemade. Oh. It's so funny.
Awkward timing.
It was like that right there. I was waiting for it to go black and go dun 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 dun. Dun. It was like the perfectly timed moment, or like a Jerry Seinfeld. Anyway, but what apparently they're kind of scaling back, doing blood, hardcore, like crazy matches, because the truth of it is, and if you like that style, don't talk to me, but that's not important. The important thing is that that's not marketable. It's not marketable to a normal audience, a casuals, because everyone goes, "Oh, you're just a bunch of casuals." Yeah. I'm like, you were a casual once, idiot. You didn't start watching wrestling back in the 80s and going, "Well, this isn't as good as Harley Race's match in 1968." Like, no, you were like, "Yay, Hulk Hogan, yay." Like, because we were all dumb at one point, and like some of these kids are watching this wrestling and they're going, "Yay." But then when they're like, "Daddy, why has he got glass in his cheek?" And it's like, "It's all for fun, son." Well, okay, I'm gonna take this fishbowl and smack it over my brother's head. Like it's to that level. I'm like, because you got to see it from the perspective of, I'm not saying like to be a prude about like that stuff. Like, you know, if you want to do the whole promiscuous sex thing, that's fine, but you got to have limitations to it. Same thing with the blood. You can do it sometimes. If you scale it back, when you bring it out, it's more surprise. It's more investing. But if every pay-per-view you do, everyone's covered in blood, no one gives a shit.
I mean, honestly, the most shocking thing are the Moxley matches, whatever. There is no blood. It's like, whoa, that's
Yeah, and there are some spots where there really should have been and there wasn't. So we'll get to that when we get to it.
Watching a horror movie, it's like watching a horror movie, and the like of all the characters, the blonde skank survives. You're like, wait, what? You're like, you survived, and the nerdy virgin died? I think someone messed up with his script. Like,
Hey Johnny, what did you think of this crazy match?
I thought it was crazy and it was kind of goofy in a way because Ricochet is in the match and he always seems to be kind of like the running joke of the match. But surprisingly, he won the match and he put Mark Briscoe in that ambulance, which that was kind of funny. But I think they overdid the ambulance. Like whenever the ambulance gets starts appearing back in the ring, the ambulance make the ambulance sound, and it's like it's a little too carried away. It's like there were times that I was thinking like, what in the Jerry Springer is it's going on here? That's what the match kind of felt like, and I think it has more to do with Ricochet because he brings some of that goofy factor into it. Like he's just a really goofy man, in my opinion.
Yes. No lie there. All right, so the winner of this match was Ricochet.
Yeah. Oh, I just wanted to say that I'm also not a fan of all the blood. Like it gets really gory after a while, and it's kind of gross because then the ring's filled with blood, and then I feel bad for the mains people. They have to be cleaning that shit up all the time after the matches.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just you.
I did like the shenanigans and stuff. I guess my only complaint was I really wanted Ricochet to lose because on one side he's annoying, so it's good that he loses. But on the other side, because Briscoe lately is just, I guess, getting booked to lose all the time.
I think the thing with Briscoe here, Mark, is that I think he just likes just being in the ring and just doing stuff and I think at this point he's just having fun. He don't care if he wins or loses.
Yeah, but when it comes
to people,
sometimes,
Yeah, except for that, like if he's like in a group thing and his whole group went like that $400,000 thing where he talk about he's gonna use his part of the winnings to diversify his portfolio.
Yeah. But I mean, he has to win once in a while because he was part of a super famous tag team and stuff like that. And you can't have someone that's like known for like awesome matches and blah 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 blah. I mean, he's gonna lose all the time. It's like someone bragging about like I don't know how awesome Mick Foley was back in the day. He's awesome, but then you're just booking him to lose.
Oh, I see. I agree with you on that one, but it's just. But that has to be the reason maybe why he's being booked to lose so much because I got nothing really.
Mm.
But as mentioned, Ricochet did win this match, and everybody went for Briscoe except for DJF.
Mm.
Here's our contrarian. Oh, and something else that we forgot to mention. Mark's hair, had a little.
Oh, he had a mohawk hairstyle this time for some reason.
And he did kind of start off the match as the dominant one.
Yeah.
Okay, so our next match is an interesting one. Boom. The Hurt Syndicate. They hurt people. They hurt people.
Mhm.
Now, the storyline for this, and they're going up against the Sons of Texas, which is, Sammy and Dustin for the World Tag Team Championships, because Dustin is, well, first of all, the main AEW roster, there really isn't another tag team that the Hurt Syndicate can actually go up against.
Yeah.
And Dustin and Sammy, they're the tag team champions in Ring of Honor. So Dustin, he said he wants those AEW championships, and that's about it, really, I can say, for that feud that just kind of built up maybe like 2 weeks before this pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And MJF just recently joined the Hurt. They just allowed him to join the Hurt Syndicate, so MJF is a part of it now. Let's see. MJF at some point accidentally caused a distraction, which kind of messed up the whoever was in the ring at the time with the Hurt Syndicate. Shelton ended up tossing Sammy in the air, but then Sammy grabbed him for a cutter on the way down.
Yeah.
That was impressive, I would say.
That was pretty cool.
Okay. MJF offers his ring to Shelton at one point, but Bob is saying that, wait, was it Shelton? And then Bob said that he doesn't need it, or was it the other way around?
No, it was Shelton.
It was Shelton, and Bob's like, no, he just doesn't need the ring. MJF ended up gouging the eyes of Dustin at one point, and he was going to hit him. Wait. Oh, yeah, he was going to hit him with the ring, but Bobby stopped him. And then we see it's all good, and then Bobby tackled Dustin through the barricade. And then Sammy was going to leave off of the ropes to take both of them down, but then Shelton tackled him from the rope. It was the way he did it, and then Shelton ended up slamming Sammy, and he pinned him and won the match. And to be fair, even though I wasn't expecting much from this match, I actually didn't think it was that bad of a match. I actually enjoyed it.
I think Dustin did a good showing against him too.
Yeah, and for me, with the Hurt Syndicate, I'm not gonna lie. Usually, most of their matches are kind of boring to me because they don't have a lot of competition, in a general sense. But this was nice because Sammy and Dustin kind of kept up with both of them, and then MJF trying to be helpful, but not being helpful at the same time, even though he's trying. It's sort of like with my job with the age that I work with. Yeah, like when I'm cleaning up their things and they're trying to help clean up too, and they're just causing more of a hindrance and more for me to do, but they don't realize that they think they're really being helpful. It's like, that's okay, please stop. I want to hurry up and finish,
Yeah.
But that's kind of like how MJF came across to me. So, yeah, I kind of like this. I actually really like this match. It wasn't, for a Hurt Syndicate match, I liked it. So
yeah, I liked it. It was a pretty good match and everything. I liked the little fake outs here and there because during the whole time that MJF was trying to get with the Hurt Syndicate, Bobby was the one with the biggest reservations and I don't like you, I don't trust you, all that stuff. So now they're all buddy. So the whole thing with the ring kind of caused them to have a bit of a face off, kind of like, oh, here we go. But then they're like, hey,
yeah,
it's all good, yeah. Like, so it's like, okay, they're on the same page and that kind of stuff. So I'm kind of curious how that's going to work out.
Where's gonna go? What's the catch gonna be? So
the thing is, for right now, they all look buddy. I mean, I'm just assuming MJF's gonna eventually do something not on purpose, I guess. Because the thing is, he's also using them to try to get his title back somehow. But the thing is, I'm thinking that there's gonna be something where MJF does something accidentally that costs them the title. And there might be like maybe a match of Bobby versus MJF, or whatever, something like that. Something that'll eventually get him kicked off the team there.
Yeah. All right, guys. Like Jack, what did you think of this match?
Honestly, I thought it was just kind of there. I don't really remember much out of it. To me, this is like the weakest of the show because I was just like, and I'm going to say something that might piss off some people. I believe everyone in this match should either retire or leave the business because clearly they don't know what the fuck they're doing. And it's at the point where you're sitting there thinking, why are you still here? Like you're like
even Bobby and Shelton?
Oh, especially Bobby. I mean, Bobby's just a vacuum of charisma. He's got like no appeal. He's terrible on the mic. Sure, he's muscular or whatever. Shelton has earned his stripes to just go off into the sunset. He's older. He's older than people realize. Like him and like he's like in the same vein of like R-Truth. R-Truth of like, oh, you're really that old? It's like, yeah, they are that old. But it's like like he's been doing this shit. Yeah, no, like Shelton's on the later end of 40. He's closer to 50. And I'm just like, I feel, you know, I mean, like his style of wrestling, I love it. I think he's one of the best wrestlers, one of the most underrated wrestlers ever. But at the same time, it's kind of like, unfortunately, it's kind of past his prime. And don't even get me started on Dustin. Dustin's ass should have left a long time ago. Sammy is such a controversial person that he seems like a pain in the ass. So he should just leave on morality. And I have said everything about MJF of why I can't stand the guy. So yeah, again, everyone should get the hell out of the industry. All these people should get out. But that's again my controversial take. But again, this match is like it wasn't bad. It was just kind of paint by numbers. I'm like,
We have a storyline with MGF being included and all that stuff, and it's various attempts until he finally got in.
Typical. I mean, the fact of the matter is, MJF. I can't understand why people try to gaslight me and try to convince me that MJF is the best wrestler on the planet or one of them, when the mofo has yet to ever be alone. Think about it. His entire career, he's had someone or he's had something to help him. So he's never been able to thrive on his own. He had Adam Cole, he had Wardlow, he had the Pineapple or whatever the fuck the group was. He was in with Jericho. He had like, I know it's the Pinnacle, I'm just messing with you. He had like everything in his back pocket. Now he's got another. Now he's with the fake Nation of Domination, and he's Owen Hart. It's like, cool, okay. And I'm just like, okay, what's next after that? You gonna hire another guy to watch your back? Like you gonna have like a brass knuckle with something? I'm like, God, we get it, man. You suck. We get it. But my point of it is that I think it's come to a point with like MJF where it's like, you know, sink or swim. You know, at this point, I'm kind of sick of it. With him, I'm like, when I see him, I want to just change the channel. I really do. And it's like everyone wants to gaslight me into believing he's great, but he's not. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. You want to make me believe, but you can't. Like you're trying to convince me that a canoe is like a diesel tanker when I'm like, it's clearly not. And they go, but it's a boat, so it's the same thing. I'm like, no, the fuck it's not. Stop telling me it's a boat. Stop telling me it's a diesel tanker. Anyway, rant over. Anyway, this match was meh. What's your thoughts, Johnny?
I'm kind of like in the same boat. I wasn't too invested in this match. I didn't really care too much about it. I mean, the only thing I did like was just, you know, to me personally, I just saw like MGF's like a little cameo in the match. Like he's just there to stir the pot a little bit and try to see if the Hurt Syndicate can cheat his way with the ring. But other than that, I wasn't really like, I don't know. I just wasn't really that invested with them. And it's kind of like what you said as well. Who was it? Bobby Lashley? Like they don't really, he doesn't have much like charisma.
Oh no, he does not at all.
Like honestly, the Hurt Syndicate to me, it just seemed very bland.
No,
Like
he
I don't know.
is.
It was just kind of like there, in my opinion.
Yeah, because
Now,
everyone
were there
compares
any
it.
moments in there?
Everyone
Yeah.
thinks it's
But
so
it wasn't
good.
like a big match. Like, oh my goodness, I can't wait to watch this match. You know?
Yeah, everyone thinks it's so good because at the time when the Hurt Business was around in WWE, they're like, "Oh, it's the best thing on TV." I'm like, during the pandemic, anything was good on TV. Like, you're comparing it to a time where we would literally have taken anything. Then, and mind you, at this point, it was like during the pandemic. Good example. Eddie Edwards was the Impact World Champion, and everyone's like, "Yay!" And I'm like, "Okay, I guess, like anything's better than nothing, I guess." Like that's kind of my mentality. I'm like, okay, but then everyone like like I said, they're trying to pretend like, oh, but it could have been something so much better if anyone understood it. I'm like, okay, here's it. Okay, just take the whole idea of the Hurt Business, Hurt Syndicate. What is their goal? Because like every faction needs a goal, okay, like an end goal. Theirs is just we have titles, and I'm like, okay, now what? It's like
We just want to people while having titles.
and like even John Moxley's stupid group, the you know
The death nonsense, whatever. Anyway.
Yeah, the
Death Riders.
Yeah, those
right?
guys. Their goal doesn't even make sense either if you think about it, because it goes, what is their goal? It's like, we're gonna destroy the system and take over. I'm like, you're already the world champion? Like,
and they're working with the system by working with the Bucks.
Isn't that like being the CEO of a company and saying, I'm gonna destroy whoever's in charge of this company? I'm like, motherfucker, your name's on the plaque. Like, it's like, whoever did this, whoever's coming to pay, I'm gonna get him back for you guys. And everyone's like,
your last name is the name of the company.
You work in payroll. Like, what are you talking about? It's like, it's gotta, that's their goal doesn't make the only way his group only makes sense if they didn't have a belt. But the fact that they have the belts makes
and they're
no
working
sense.
with the EVPs now.
Yes. Which makes
it's the same thing with MJF. It was the same exact thing with MJF. When MJF was the world champion, he was still doing dirty shit heel tactics and running away like a bitch. That only works when you don't have the title. But when you have the title, how are you going to run away when you're the champion? You're supposed to be the top guy. It's like they're going backwards. It's literally the SpongeBob joke of the, all right, Plankton, what's your big plan? He's like, I don't know. I didn't think I'd get this far. It's literally that. It's quite literally that meme. But like that's what they are. I'm like, okay, what now? You got tag titles, cool. What next?
I think that's another problem with some of these AEW things too, with some of the storylines or the motivations or the character. It's sort of like it's more so like they don't have any real motivation. I mean, Daniel Garcia, he was passionate about helping, defending Tony Schiavone's honor. Yes, we all want to defend Tony. I mean, come on now, that's a good story right there, man. Let me tell you. No, but seriously, the Hurt Syndicate really doesn't have anything to do with stuff. They just want to hurt people. Unless they want to like run through everything and try to get every title in the company or something, but they don't even seem interested in that.
Here's a good example. Here's a perfect example. AEW could use this. Take Ricochet, for example. What is Ricochet known for? He is one of the most innovative, one of the most original high flyers of all time. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
Everyone knows his history. Use that. He wants to prove he is the best by taking out each of the other high flyers. Just have him rack up wins, and say, I'm going to prove I'm the best, leading up to him fighting Will Ospreay, because he had a long history with Will Ospreay, and then start a rivalry with him, or like have his first feud be with Mike Bailey. Like they're like that whole thing, and then just boom, boom, boom. That way you could get all your Spotomania shit going on, and like doing all the backflips, and like, hey, let's do a 680 somersault over a top of a fucking skyscraper, whatever the hell you want to do, and just build off of that and have a reason why it's happening instead of him just coming out. It's like, all right, Ricochet, what are you going to do next? And he's like, I don't know. Like, I'm like, what? What is happening? Like, what are you, a Nicktoons villain? Like, what are you, a Nickelodeon Nick Jr. fucking character? What is this? You on Yo Gabba Gabba? What the hell is happening?
Man, my little crew used to watch that.
I'm just saying, I'm like, what is happening? And like get a writer. They need actual writers, not guys who are like, I saw someone do an elbow drop once and like, you're hired. It's like, no, get a guy who's read a comic book, something.
You have read a book. Or had to make a cut to the point that they don't remember what books are.
Something slightly more advanced than Dr. Seuss. Just something.
Here you are. This is Goosebumps. Read this.
Is there pictures in it? No.
Okay, so I'm going to say the winners of this one. Okay, so as mentioned, the Hurt Syndicate did win, and everyone gets a point except for Johnny and William because they went for the Sons of Texas, which I was kind of surprised. They're on Ring of Honor. I just couldn't see it, and I'm still wondering when is Dustin going to fully retire? I mean, is this going to be his last run? I mean, see, he you know, because even I said that. I mean, it's nice that he can still try to do stuff in the ring, but at the same time, it should be focusing on the younger talent and not the older talent.
Yeah.
Dustin has a good, he's had his decades. He needs to go or take more of a backstage role or a managerial role, sort of like how Billy Gunn does,
Yeah.
I also feel that's kind of weird to have Dustin Rhodes in AEW and then you have Cody Rhodes in WWE. Like, that's kind of weird.
Yeah. Well, that's how it goes. But I mean, that's how it was though, because I think Dustin was still doing not wrestling, but he was still doing little cameos as Gold does. He had the whole storyline where he was like trying to be R-Truth's tag team and all that, while Cody was already
what would he call?
Golden Truth or something.
Something like that.
Yeah, but he was still there while Cody was gone and doing the Ring of Honor stuff. So it's not the first time the brothers have been, kind of
separated
and everything. But
may have to be a Stardust. I'll blame him for running away.
Yeah. All right, so the next match we got here is Okada versus Speedball Mike Bailey for the Continental Championship, because Okada, of course, is still the Continental Champion and everything. And we got a couple of notes here, just a few, because flippy shit and everything. We do see that Speedball basically did a bunch of spinning kicks that remind us of Ken with the newer spinning kicks he does in the newer games like Street Fighter 5 and 6. So it's like, okay, that's some Ken action there. Speedball did a spinning move off the ropes. Okada hit him right out of the air with a flying drop kick, and then hits him with a Rainmaker and wins the match. So of course Okada retains and everything. And what are your thoughts on the match so far? I mean, I thought it's interesting, and Okada seemed to be actually trying somewhat, because he just has that tired, I really don't want to be here, but the paycheck's nice kind of look on his face. You know what I mean?
Well, to be honest, there really wasn't much to criticize about this match. There wasn't really anything bad about it. It was just kind of, it's hard for me as a fan of both of them. It was kind of like, I got what I expected.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty much it. Like I expected the things I got from Speedball, which I got. I expected Okada to wrestle the way he did, and for once he actually did, instead of him doing that whole stupid like gimmicky stuff he's been doing, where like since he's with the Bucks or whatever, he actually brought up some of his New Japan stuff. Granted, he's still at like 40% compared to his New Japan stuff, but for what it was, I thought it was a great match. Solid. I didn't really expect the Speedball to win. I mean, granted, it would have been cool, but at the same time, Speedball's, didn't he like just recently sign with AEW,
Yeah,
like not
he's
even
pretty
a month
new.
or two ago.
He's still pretty new with them.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
What was so good about the match and why I loved it was the fact that both Speedball and Okada are 20+ year veterans. So they have the skills to pretty much wrestle anybody. And they brought it to they showed off enough of their skills to basically go like, hey, here's a sample platter of what I can do, but just know I'm not doing all my tricks. Here you go. And for what it was, honestly, it was a great match. And I thought you could have put this at any point in the card, but I think it was a good spot where it was. And overall, I liked it. I thought it was a good match. What do you think, Johnny?
Okay, so to be honest, I don't really remember too much about this match, but it was still a good technical match, and I just like the way Speedball is always very technical, and he's very karate-ish in his fighting format. So that's pretty much it. I don't really remember too much about this match.
Okada match, right?
Yep.
Huh. Well, one thing I did like about the match that Okada looked like he was actually trying. And he's like, oh, time to earn my paycheck, beach. That's how I thought about it. There were a couple of moves I thought were kind of interesting. Like, I know I wrote it down, but
I remember we went over the notes.
oh yeah. Yeah, I didn't take as many notes for this one.
They really hustled for that breakfast title.
Oh God. Yeah, Continental Breakfast time.
In all honesty, I wasn't really thinking much of this match because it was an Okada match. And lately, with Okada in general, it just really feels like he's just there for the paycheck. So my expectations were like, whatever. But yeah, I thought this was actually a decent match for him because he actually looked like he was actually trying. And he did move a bit more than what he would usually. So I will give it props for that. So that's all I can really say about it. Let's see. And of course, Okada, as mentioned, retained, and Jack was the only one who went for Speedball for that one, which was a little surprising, I guess. I don't know. I just couldn't see
Well,
him.
I thought it would have been a nice change of pace.
But remember,
I didn't really. I honestly, I didn't really think he'd win it. I was kind of like, oh, this would be surprising. Like that's since he just got signed. I'm like, this would be kind of surprising. But
remember, Jack. See, I learned from you. You are my sensei. What I learned from my sensei is that AEW booking does not make sense.
I still have hope. Damn it. Yeah, you're right though. Yeah, you are. Yeah, I should listen to my own advice. Really. I'm like, but see, the thing is, I'm like Master Splinter. I'm really good at giving advice, but when it comes to the actual fighting, I'm like, I'll leave that to someone else. I'm just gonna sit here alone, reading my books. What does Splinter do? Hey, maybe you can answer this. What the fuck does Splinter do all day?
Mostly meditate, I guess. That's what he's mostly shown doing, meditating and.
Oh.
I like them out of the dojo just so he gets a break from.
I just imagined in the modern day Splinter having a Twitch account.
Oh no.
Gosh, he was up there gaming and playing some Double Dragon. I don't know.
Mhm.
What's up? What's up? What's up, Splinters, Slivers? I'm here to play Fortnite.
No.
No. We don't want to play no Fortnite.
I hear Marvel
Hey.
Rivals is good.
Why does Shredder get the skin and I don't?
It's like, oh no, I'm getting someone logging in. It's me, Krang. It's like,
All right, so that's what they're doing. Where Bebop, Rocksteady are out closing shenanigans with the turtles out there trying to stop him. Krang is playing video games. He don't
with
even
his
go
tentacles.
nowhere.
His tentacles would make it easy for him to play on his keyboard.
So Krang is playing Fortnite. Okay, now if Krang start flossing, I'm out.
I'm sorry. I just was thinking about that. I'm sorry. Anyway.
Okay, so the next match is for the Women's World Championship. And the World Championship between Toni Storm, Timeless Toni Storm, and Mina Melon Shirakawa.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I like Mina. I really do. I really do.
Yeah, she really is the best wrestler. But anyways, go on with the notes.
Yeah, my first note, I don't know how to describe that, but remember she was dancing with like her very close to the crotch.
Oh yeah. She knocked Tony down or something, and then got on her and started started thrusting the goods
Right in
right
her
in front,
face.
right in front of her. I'm surprised Tony didn't go for it with all their little subtext they got there.
Uh-huh. And then we have that Mina sorry. And then have that Mina was slam Tony's knee into the post. And something interesting because even when they met up earlier, like for either Dynamite or Collision, whichever one it was, she was kind of working her knee back then. So I mean, for that episode, she knew she was gonna fight her on Sunday. So she was trying to work the knee so it'd be a handicap for Tony, so she can use that to her advantage when they have their pay-per-view match. So that makes sense. So anyway, Tony did pulls her forward so that Mina's face hit the ring post instead when she did that. Luther wait.
Was protecting Tony.
Yeah, was trying to protect Tony, but then Mina hit him, and then she knocks Tony back. And then she then runs and does like a tornado splash off of Luther onto Tony, which was with the camera angle there. And then Mina leapt off the ropes, but Luther took the dive for Tony. Then Mina grabbed.
So Luther earned his paycheck.
Yes, he did.
I don't see no Alfred diving to take his for Batman. I'm just saying.
Okay, then Mina, later on in the match, Mina grabbed Tony and got her to a figure four. But after much effort, Tony grabbed the rope. Then she ended up hitting her with the Storm Zero and a big and her big package pin. And then Tony retained, and both of them shared a big kiss.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, it's the biggest package she's ever seen.
I really, first of all, I love both these girls to death. I've loved them. You already know that. I mean, they're Stardom, not just because they're Stardom alumni. I've always been supporters of them and fans. Like, I mean, like back when she was even in Cosmic Angels, I loved Mina, and Tony. I've followed her whole career, but they had a great chemistry. I love seeing their style now. That Tony's a little more old school, and Mina, of course, is Mina. But I wanted Mina to win this.
Me too.
Not because of the fact that I don't like Tony. Honestly, to be 100% cards on the table. Tony Storm is the only great thing about AEW. And I know that's a very mean thing for me to say. She's the best character. She's the best on the mic. She's the most entertaining. And she's had most consistent matches. So if I were going to go off of that, there's no one else like her. So, but the reason I wanted Mina to win was because I knew Mercedes was most likely going to win. And I thought it would make a better story and have an actual reason for them to fight. Because at Resurgence, Mercedes lost for the first time a title. She lost the New Japan Strong Belt by Azumi pinning Mina. So she could have the fuel of, I'm going to get my revenge for you taking my belt by taking your belt. You see what I'm saying? Like that would have been more of a story that I could have seen building as opposed to, we're both icons here. Yay. Like, I'm thinking long term, but again, it goes back to what I say and what you have to remind me, Jupi, which is that that's me booking practically, and this is AEW. I have to keep reminding myself that over and over again because I'm used to actually good writing. So
it would have been. It is interesting, Mercedes versus Tony, but personally, I wanted to see Mercedes versus Mina because you build that up to try to get one. I mean, because she has one of those Japanese. I mean, I didn't know the backstory like what Jack does, but I was thinking along the lines of both of them worked in the Japanese promotions. Mercedes going around getting all these Japanese titles. You know, maybe try to fight her to as revenge. Well, kind of like what you were saying, but not as. You know, I just wanted to see that.
Well, she could say, like Mina could say, oh, you and I both wrestled in Japan, but I was bigger. Like she could say that I was bigger in Japan than you ever were, and she could say that like she's not wrong. She was both literally and figuratively.
Well, that's the only maybe I want to see her versus Mina because of that. So if she won all those Japanese, if Mercedes had those Japanese titles, she'd be like, no, 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 no. I'm the one who should be having titles, not you, or something like that.
Yeah,
that's what I wanted to
Forbidden Door or something like that. Because they're running out of like other, like the Japanese people to do Forbidden Door with. Most of them are signed up with AEW anyways, or they cameo with them every other week or something. So they're gonna have
I honestly feel like the Forbidden Door is closing because I think New Japan does not want to work with AEW anymore very shortly. And so does Stardom because it's getting to the point where they're like, what are we getting from this abusive relationship?
All right, Johnny, what did you think of the match? Your thoughts?
Honestly, I pretty much don't remember too much about the match, but obviously Toni Storm's gonna fight, very good and very technical, and then Mina's very charismatic. I like the match. I mean, it was so entertaining, and then the ending they did the big kiss or whatever. But other than that, I don't really remember too much about the match.
Fair enough. It has been a while. So, as mentioned, Tony did end up retaining, and everybody went for Tony except for Jack, who was hoping for Mina's win. I kind of wanted her to win too, but same thing. I just figured she wouldn't. So, I just went in that direction. Next, we have Anarchy in the Arena. Okay. The ops was consist of Hobbs, Joe and Shibata, along with Willow, Swerve, and Kenny versus the Death Riders and the Bucks. There was a lot of craziness that went on in this.
Lots of music.
A lot of music. It started playing. It started with everyone getting their introductions, and then the Bucks came in. They had their own special introduction where they're acting like because they're the founding fathers of AEW or whatever, and they're playing this
I can hear that.
Is that colonial music or something?
This colonial American revolutionary music nonsense, dressed up in period style clothes, and then Kenny was like, "Okay, let's let's get rid of this music." So they started playing the Pointer Sisters. I'm so excited, and then the music stopped because Kenny had to change that music and let them play let the bodies hit the floor.
Let the bodies hit the floor.
And the only thing that was messed up about hearing that they wouldn't shut the doggone music off. I mean, come on, they kept replaying it over and over. Come on, it was so annoying.
But the crowd was digging it though. They were singing along, and Kenny got to pull with some of the people, like take selfies and all that. And
yeah, for a wrestling match. Anyway, for an ongoing wrestling match. But the thing is, they did end up cutting the music when was a Swerve got thrown into the speaker or something. But
yeah, Claudio grabbed him and did like the big swing and let him go like right
and the speaker, and that cut the music.
And it's like, yep, that's one way to cut the music.
And then the crickets started chirping again. So anyway, all right, so Marina ended up at one point chaining Willow's ear to the ring post. Nana ended up freeing Willow.
Because Nana was fortified.
Oh, good gosh, you
Certified, I mean.
Yeah, he brought him in on a forklift. Yuta ended up flew into a staple because someone used a staple gun. Yuta got thrown and they used a staple on him. I don't remember who. One of the Bucks ended up getting stapled in the balls. I didn't care. Marina stapled Swerve's tongue. I didn't care. Moxley used cutters on, he used the cutter on Willow, which was kind of interesting there. Kenny ended up using the Snapdragon on Marina.
That was more whatever, because Moxie's a heel, so whatever. He just did a cutter on Willow without giving a crap. And then Kenny grabbed Marina, but he was hesitating a lot. And Marina was like, "Do it, fucking do it," or whatever. So he finally did the Snapdragon on him.
Yep. And then Willow got super kicked. Oh well, no, she got super kicked, and the ref technically got hit or something. It was so stupid.
Yeah.
And then they put tax, and then they grabbed Kenny. They put tax in his mouth.
I don't know how you do that spot without accidentally swallowing a tack or two.
Yeah. Hook did show up, and he helped, and he beat down somebody with a golf club. I forget who. And what's name is like, Joe wanted to come in to join them, and Hook was like, he won't have it, none of that. And he just left. So I guess the thing is, maybe he's upset because he got replaced.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah, because it wasn't available whenever they won the trios titles. Hop kind of took his place. So I guess he's kind of, whatever. Yeah, I think it was that other guy. Wasn't it that who's that random guy that keeps helping the Bucks lately?
When then Gabe showed up.
Yeah,
Gabe Kidd.
Careful.
Oh,
Oh,
wait.
that's what it was?
Gabe Kidd he's one of the Bullet Club War Dogs. He's the guy who ended Eddie Kingston's career.
Oh, wait, ended or?
Yeah, like ended. Not literally. Well, basically what happened was I was there. He was at New Japan Resurgence, and Eddie Kingston's dumbass he challenged Gabe Kidd to a no rules match, no poles, no rules match, which basically like took away all the ropes and anything goes. And he starts beating they start beating the crap out of each other and fighting in a thing where like they're fighting each other outside the ring and all this stuff.
He got from the
Eddie Kingston's dumbass sets up a ladder between the ring and the barricade, and he does a move. He tries to do a move. Kidd reverses it, and Kingston lands. He pulled an edge instead of him going like that through the ladder, like flat. His ass went like this, and had his knees turned and went like it was like fucking idiot. So the ladder snapped his knee.
Was that the injury that got him out of action? Was that?
Yeah, he hasn't wrestled since.
Also, it was that move. Oh, okay.
And then he apparently recently he grew out his beard. It's all gray and white, and he's like, I don't want to come back to wrestling. It's not the way it was. Anyway.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Back to the clusterfuck in the Coliseum match.
Yeah. Oh, I was almost done with this, but
no, go ahead.
Yeah,
okay. I like this other part.
But like Gabe ended up showing up, like yada yada yada. Mark Briscoe showed up. Then they kind of baited all the other Death Riders out of the ring, and they ended up locking them in the ambulance. That was interesting, but it is kind of dumb at the same time because Mark Briscoe also was not treated for any of his injuries because he left the ambulance there. I mean, they did say it was a stretcher match, whoever gets locked in wins, but think about it. So who let him out of the ambulance for him to go and help? Was he unconscious this whole time and all of a sudden say, oh no, I gotta go out there, I gotta help all my friends, all that other stuff, and then I gotta get out of the ambulance, I hear all this noise going on.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, I guess so. And then Nana ended up taking out the shoes that they were promoting earlier that apparently Swerve had for sale or whatever. They had thumbtacks in them, and then Swerve ended up using used the Swerve stomp on the tags on one of the Bucks. I don't care. And Swerve got the pin, but there was also this other spot that I forgot to put in here, but I do remember because it was just so doggone stupid. They had an exploding table
Oh no! The table I think exploded because when they broke through it, it yanked out all the power cables during the thing. So I don't know if that was gimmick or not. But it wasn't like an exploding table in general, but it did like the wires and junk got blown up or whatever. And
Okay, so my opinion on this match, it was a mess. It was just so much crazy nonsense going on. And I know they were trying to do the four screen thing. I mean, still really couldn't keep up with everything. There were just some things where like, oh, who's doing what, who's where, and all that other stuff. So, and the music thing was just annoying. It got old really fast.
yeah, I think maybe playing it twice would have been enough because.
But it just kept looping and looping and looping.
But it was weird though. I just wonder if it would
fact.
be different being there in person though, because the crowd was eating it up. I mean, I know it was looping, but they were all still let the bodies hit the floor. Like everyone was like,
Yeah, but that's sad but that's sad that they were reacting more to that than they were to what was going on around them.
Well, they ran out of those giant volleyball things, those beach balls they have in WWE, so they had to use something else to keep the crowd entertained. You know.
All right, Jack. I'm ready for your rant. Oh, I have no alcohol.
Well,
Go ahead.
the thing,
Yep, let's get the alcohol. Hold on, Jack.
Oh.
We were prepared.
okay,
When we found out that you were coming, we were getting ready.
okay. I was wait. Okay, I'll just wait for a second.
I should bring up that wine bottle.
Who? I'm trying to remember everyone who was in the match.
Okay, so we have Samoa Joe, you had Hobbs, you had Shibata,
Kenny Omega.
yeah, Kenny Omega, Willow, Marina, Swerve, the Death, and all of those Death Riders, Manus Pac, and the Young Bucks. And
Yeah,
Gabe
okay.
and Gabe showed up, and Hook showed up, and Mark Briscoe showed up.
So we got Light Strike now. There's a cool
So,
drink I just found out right now. It's alcohol.
so I'm in the mindset of this match, this style of match is the perfect match to encompass everything that AEW is. It's dumb shit. It's not well written, not well paced, not well filmed, makes absolutely no sense. Everyone involved looks worse for being in it. And I knew it was first of all, I knew it was a clusterfuck before the bell rang, because you're forgetting the most important part, and that is that Kenny Omega came out with a fucking trash can that looked like Captain America's shield, and he had his stupid ass logo on it. And I'm like, what the hell is happening here? What the they're meant to be taken seriously with this shit? I have literally seen little kids at conventions that look more threatening than half of these fuckers. I am serious when I say I cannot take this shit seriously. You cannot have people legitimately take this seriously. And I don't understand. Truly, I do not understand AEW fans. I really, truly cannot comprehend it. Because it is quite literally the equivalent of a chef coming up to your table, shitting on your plate, and going, bon appetit. And everyone's just like, oh my God, personal service. I'm like, are you brain damaged? Like, what is happening here? First of all, I'm surprised you guys weren't so excited that you just couldn't hide it, because apparently that was the point. And also, one of the things I keep hearing about this match that everyone keeps calling it is let the botches hit the floor, because there were so many fucking botches in this match, which I'm like, yeah. Fun fact, a little bit of a tangent. If you play a recorded licensed song more than 5 times, you have to pay full royalties on it. So basically, like, you have to pay
stopped at
as if
5.
you're a radio station.
So
So
you see, William gets popcorn when there's Jack rants. We get the alcohol.
Yep.
but yeah, So if you pay a song, a licensed recorded song, 5 times, you actually have to pay the full royalties as if it's a radio station to the people who wrote the song. So that's the reason they kept. And so I'm like, did you all learn nothing from the other dumbass Anarchy in the Arena matches where it's just like, because did you remember when they did the wild thing for like 7 times and everyone's just like, we're sick of it. Shut the fuck up. I felt like the Grinch in the cartoon, and I was like, all the noise. So thank God when I watched it, I watched it on a streaming site because I could actually mute my computer.
We don't want to say that note though, that PvP.com is doing a good job. We didn't have any problems or issues like we used to back then with the Bleacher Report Live and stuff. And it keeps like buffering or freezing.
I've been hearing their service is actually pretty good. I think it's because they're used to working globally, whereas Bleacher Report was like just local. You know what I mean? Like they were just US. So I'm like, oh, okay. Anyway, I only really remember 2 things about the match other than how dumb it was.
Wait. Okay, I forgot to mention this. That is the only good thing about this match is that the Bucks team lost. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
That's about it. Yeah.
I love how they cram these motherfuckers in ambulance, keep them the fuck out of there so the Bucks can lose with no other, guys that come save them or stop it or break the pin or whatever.
Yeah,
that was good.
That was the only good thing about this match. Everything else was like, oh my God. Oh, I'm sorry, Jack. Just something else I gotta mention I thought was really stupid. Because remember we were talking about matches that probably should have had blood and how this should have been one of them?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All the stapling stuff. The fact that, like I said, the thing with Willow smacking Marina in the head with a bottle, which should have put her out of the match. It's sort of like the match with Anna Page and Swerve, I think, when they used the cinder block, and I was like, okay, why is he still moving? You're supposed to do suspension of disbelief, but there should be a line somewhere. Hitting someone in the head with a bottle exploded over your head.
They don't understand. It's movie style writing. So like in a movie, you see a guy get hit and you're like, even though you don't feel it, you're supposed to go like, ooh, like you're supposed to expect, like hear a noise, go bam, and they go, oh, they go down. And you're like, okay, cool, fair enough. But if you see a guy punch and he's just standing there like, and then you're like, I win. And they're like, what the fuck? That's not a fight. And I'm like, that's kind of the equivalent of what it is. And they don't understand. I could pinpoint, and y'all can look in the archive of exactly when I called this shit. This is back when Ricky Rocks was still on the podcast. I said, this shit kills wrestling was when you remember when Kenny was the belt collector and they had a feud with Pac and he hit him with 4 belts in a row and he kept getting back up. And I said, that is usually it. 1 belt, that's it. But he hit him with a belt, Pac got up. Hit him with another, Pac got up. Hit him. I'm like, this is that same shit. You did that 4 years ago and you're doing the same shit.
Oh, okay. So that's something I would have missed. I wasn't regularly watching 4 years ago. Because like I said, I watched like the first year, a little bit of the first year, like the first pay-per-view, but I never, fully got back into it. Like maybe
this was during the pandemic era.
Yeah, I really wasn't. Yeah, I wasn't watching then.
Anyway,
but just the fact that
they're still
Jack,
doing the same shit. They're still doing it.
No, but Jack, just the fact that you brought that up, the thing with the belt. Usually, if you get hit by the belt, usually that is out because after that, you pin, you win.
Yeah.
Are you telling me?
At this time,
I need more alcohol.
At this point, Kenny had the AEW, the TNA, or the AEW, the Impact, the AAA Mega Championship, and then I forgot the other belt he had. He had 4 belts. And he literally hit Pac with all 4 belts. And he hit him once, Pac got up. hit him with the other belt, Pac got up. And I'm like sitting here thinking, what the fuck is this? This is a match.
Don Callis joined the
But this match is exactly what they did. They did that same shit where it's just like, oh, am I supposed to feel something? Okay. I'm like, it doesn't matter if you don't care. If you don't care, why do I care? There's only two other things I remember about the match, and that is there were women in it. I'm like, that's something new. Like, that's it. And then the other thing was, I didn't know they were thumbtacks. I thought he had used cleats. Like golf cleats. But then I'm like thinking, but then I'm like, oh, when it said it was thumbtacks, I'm like, oh, thank God, because if it was cleats, that would have been straight up murder, and we would have seen a snuff film. Like, because I don't know if you've ever seen shoe cleats in golf. They are literally made of like thick, neat, like thick nails. So it's like that's what I was like, ooh. But
something like that.
Also, don't even get me started on the 4-panel camera angle. And I'm like, yes, because your dumbass attention seeking, your ADHD fucking audience is totally going to be able to pay attention to every little screen at the same time.
But here we go. To be fair, for the one that you actually care about, you only focus on that one.
Yeah, but I'm like, okay, this ain't Mario Kart. We're not going to be focusing on one screen the whole time. But the other thing of it is, it won't even matter, because what do we always say, Mark? Every time there's an Anarchy in the Arena match, the cameraman sucks. Every time. And this was no exception.
They need an Anarchy in the Arena match that has Anna Jay and Blue Sky, Sky Blue, and then there'll be 110% focus and everything. Oh God, can you imagine if they do like a split screen and someone got fired for that? You see a split screen,
just have
and you see
on this screen.
Sky Blue bending over here, Anna Jay bending over there, Tony Storm her flying thing, and I don't know who else.
There's no mean in there.
Yeah, I mean, Shirakawa shaking her boobs, but zooming on the boobs, you can see the boobs.
It'd be a 4-panel. It'd be a 4-panel screen. It'd have a 4-panel screen. Four-panel screen, and it'd have a 4-panel screen. It's like Kenny Omega doing a dive spot, the Young Bucks doing a Meltzer driver. For no reason, Anna Jay's ass and a full zoom in, and you're like, what? What was that last thing? Just like, and then Tony Schiavone cut the Tony Schiavone like just do that. That perfect. Like, it's like no notes. Put this in the Criterion Collection. This is masterpiece theater here. Like that's pretty much where I'm at this point. I'm like, at this point, the more people I hear that go, I legitimately saw a woman who was dead ass serious and said, the Anarchy in the Arena is the greatest stipulation in all of pro wrestling. I'm like, in what fucking cosmic universe are you this brain damaged that you think that was pro wrestling? Because it's not. It's not. It's essentially, you basically tried recreating the Beat It music video with crappy music and people that don't understand how to fight. Let's give a bunch of kindergartners some power tools and see what happens. That's pretty much what this match is.
Oh God.
Anyway,
Johnny,
Masterpiece Theater. Moving on. What do you think, Johnny?
Yeah, Johnny. Yeah, what do you think of this cluster? You know what?
Well, I'm just gonna say that this whole match was a clusterfuck. You could barely tell what the hell is going on because you have the stupid, crappy split screen and the crappy camera angles, and then it really doesn't matter which wrestler is doing which thing and which side of the ring or inside the. I don't know, the ring's like what, the cafeteria or whatever. Like, it doesn't matter which side of the angle they're at, because you're never going to see the full picture because there's just way too much shit going on at the same time. And it doesn't help that you have crappy camera work that you can't really tell what the hell's going on. But the only good thing about this match is that at least the Young Bucks lost.
Yep. That was the best part. Just them losing. But like I said, the problem with this is like I mean, who cares I mean, I'm glad that they lost, but who cares that they lost because it wasn't for like a world championship or anything. So, it's like
Or it wasn't like if they lose, the Death Riders must disband or something.
yeah,
something
there
like
was no
that.
real stipulation. It was just Joe was mad at him. What did you want to take him out? I mean, that's it, really. And whatever.
And so what's the over under on this one?
Oh yeah, the ops one. I call it Team Joe one. So everybody went for Team Joe except for Jack and DJF. They figured the Death Riders side would win.
Hold on. What's next? Is that the main event already?
No, the next match is a match that I really did not care about at all. It was the Paragon, which is Adam Cole, Kyle, was Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong versus the Catalyst family, which consisted of Takeshita, Josh Alexander, and Kyle Fletcher.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very short match, thank God. But at the end of it, Tanahashi showed up with Ishii and Brody King.
Yeah, and they kind of called him out like for a future match. But yeah, I don't remember too much about the match either, to be honest. And then, it was a hell of a cool down match. The undercard thing, like it or not, it was pumping and whatever. So
There was a lot of crap going on.
Yeah, so you still needed some kind of cool down match after that.
Here's my theory is that maybe the other match went on too long and they had to do the short.
That could be too.
But in all honesty, even the setup for this, I really did not care. I don't remember pretty much anything about this match except that I was
I feel bad for Ishii because lately it looks like he can barely walk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It reminds me of like Big Show,
I'm getting. I feel bad for all the guys in the Don Callis family because all of them are insanely talented, especially Josh Alexander. He was one of the most decorated champions. He's the most decorated champion in TNA. He was the longest reigning champion, and he's subjected to a mid-card faction. That's horseshit. He should be challenging like for at least Okada or something. And then Takeshita is so confused. Like, I don't think he knows where the hell he is half the time. And Fletcher, I'm just like,
Really trying to build Fletcher up, but it's still just, I mean, he needs like purpose or something, and there really is no purpose.
I mean, his purpose is to go after Ospreay, but they
already ended that. So, like, what do you do now?
Exactly. I'm just like, okay, like what now? Like, what do you do now at this point? And I think that's the big issue. I'm just like, you sign with AEW and you kind of, as sad as it is, these people, I feel bad for the wrestlers because I'm always like, you have this level of expectation and then you just get like, I'm not going to be shocked if Tekla starts jobbing within 2 months. I'm not going to be shocked by that. I'll be heartbroken, but I wouldn't be shocked by that either. They could screw up Jay White. They could screw up anybody.
Oh, definitely, yes. I forgot if what's name would have kept him on his roster. But
I mean, the fact that Jay White, here's another thing. The fact that Jay White has never had an injury in his career ever, but he has now since he's throwing AEW, I'm like, that's proof right there that they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
All right. Johnny, what did you think of this match with their group versus the Callis family? I mean, I'm going to assume that you don't remember much about this match because I don't think anyone does. There was nothing remarkable about it. All right, Johnny, what did you think of this match?
Honestly, I don't really remember much about this match at all, to be honest.
There really wasn't much to the match, honestly, and it was pretty short as well. Okay, so for this match, as mentioned, the winners of this match was the Callis family won. And I was a contrarian, Everybody else within the Callis family. I did not heed Jack Senpai's advice. Okay. Oh no, Jack Sensei. I did not listen to Jack Sensei's advice and I went for the Paragon. All right, so now we are at the final match of the night that everybody was waiting for except for me because I really didn't care. Adam Page versus.
Really? I mean, I was curious who was going to win.
No, I just didn't care about the match.
Oh, well.
Oh, I was like,
Adam Page versus Kenny Omega. I'm sorry, it's just the build up.
Wait, for Ospreay, you.
And I want to. Oh yeah.
I had to drink during the Jack match.
Like, whoa,
I got
okay.
you too drunk. I got you too drunk, Jupes. Sorry.
Adam Page versus.
Well, to be fair, he's British Kenny Omega. He's kind of like the difference between Balrog, or is the difference between is it Balrog? Is that the boxer from Street Fighter?
Yeah, in America anyway.
It's the difference between Balrog and Dudley. One's just British.
I want to do the V trick on you, bruv.
Okay.
I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna do a one-wing danger on you, bruv. You're like, what?
God, that was say Kenny Omega. Anyway, Adam Page against Ospreay. But anyway,
I want to hear Ospreay just fully triple down on his accent and like make no sense on a promo.
put that down there.
I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do, bruv. I'm gonna go die over. I'm gonna go over the gas, and then we're gonna go here. You feel me? And it's like, what? What? Anyway, go on. Sorry.
So, I think my issue with the build up to this match is that I just couldn't care because of the motivation behind it. I don't know. It just seemed kind of like forced to me, I guess. But I'm kind of whatever anyway. But anyway, there were a couple of parts that I thought kind of annoyed me. Okay, well, first of all, there was a normal match, normal rules in place, but they were not consistent with their rules. Like for
Referee discretion, remember?
anyway, this is not a tournament. This is like it's over. It's over, man. So anyway,
Well, it is a tournament because it's the finals for the Owen Hart thing, isn't it?
anyway, it's not a real tournament. So anyway, this is AEW. They don't know what they're doing. But anyway, no, seriously. Okay, there are like parts of the time where the ref is counting out with them outside of the ring. Normal. Count out. They're just, it's over. But there are other times where they're both out the ring and the ref doesn't do it at all. It didn't make sense to me. But anyway, ignoring that, we have a few notes here. We have that Adam Page used the angel wings, and he actually referenced Christopher Daniels, who he ended up forcing to retire, which was also kind of whatever. And then Ospreay ended up using the Styles Clash off the apron and onto the floor, which looked kind of
Yeah, that looked very dangerous.
Yeah, and painful because you had to take the impact to protect the other person. Ospreay ended up kicking Hangman off the apron and onto the announce table, but the table collapsed under their weight because
they were trying to pick him up to do a deadeye or something. I think.
Yeah, he was trying to do the deadeye and on Ospreay, but the table collapsed and
Went into business for itself.
Yeah, the table went into business for itself, and we didn't really take many notes on this match. I don't know why.
Oh God, yeah, because we were probably it's late.
Yeah, that's right. It was getting late. We were getting sleepy, and we were just saying, what, maybe Jack.
That was more like into the match to jot things down.
And also, just curious how things were going to go. And then we were saying, but Jack and William probably would have picked up more than we ever could. So we said we're going to leave it up to them.
Yeah, Jack. Any other notes on the end of the match and everything? I know Hangman did eventually win and everything, but any moves and things?
No, I mean, like they did good reversals. It was a solid back and forth and back and forth. It seemed like the one major this is obviously match of the night, but the one biggest criticism I would say about the match was it really dragged at times, and like I felt they could have cut a couple of spots and they could have focused a little more on their in-ring work. But considering it's the main event and it's a tournament finals, I gave it a lot of leeway. because I'm used to like New Japan 40+ minute matches. So, but like to be fair, yeah, I mean Hangman did really well. He seems to finally, only took him 7 fucking years. Finally seems to know what he's doing in the ring. Ospreay is like one of those guys who could pretty much like he could fight a mailbox and make it look good. So I wasn't really surprised with Ospreay's abilities. It was more of like how is Hangman going to balance out his style, which is more of like based on like powerhouse striking, against Ospreay's high flying, because Ospreay's biggest opponents have always been people who are good counters to his high flying striking. So like his biggest rival has always been Zack Sabre Jr. because Zack Sabre Jr. is a ground mat submission style wrestler. Because it doesn't matter how much you fly, if someone got your ass on the ground, you're like, bam, like that's it. So it is kind of funny because like I saw someone online call it porn stash page versus the aerial ass. Like fair, like fair. But no, it was honestly, it was the match of the night. Yeah, it was mostly just like solid hits, solid moves. Again, I would have cut a bunch of stuff, like mostly like, you know, the table spot and maybe here and there. And it goes back to that criticism you were talking about, Wendy, where it's like you shouldn't be doing multiple finishers over and over and over again because it gets really tiresome. Yes. And especially with the move like, you know, Ospreay's, where he's got so many finishers, I'm just like, it gets irritating fast. And so you're like, after the third or fourth time it happens, you're just like, let me guess, he kicks out. And sure enough, he does. And you're like, so you're like, it is what it is. I mean, granted, I'm just kind of nitpicking about it, but overall, I mean, for what it was, for a main event, for a final, yeah, I thought it was a great way to end the show. Great match. Probably it was best match of the night. And honestly, it was like receiving a really, really good dessert after the crap meal that was the collision, the Anarchy in the arena match. So yeah, like this was a major palate cleanser. So yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on it. What about you guys?
Yeah, I really liked it, and I mean, it kept you awake.
Yeah, it did. But like I said, the multiple finish, like so close, so close, so close. And I was like, okay, come on, we gotta go to bed, you know.
Yeah, we gotta work tomorrow
or something like that. Yeah, Johnny, what about you?
So personally, I didn't care too much about the match, maybe because I'm not really that invested in Adam Page. Yeah, and I actually I would have preferred if Will Ospreay won this match, to be honest. There were many close calls where Will Ospreay could have won, and you know, he lost. You know, I forgot what it was that made him lost the match, but it was still a good match on its own, like for what it's worth. But it's not something that's like I really care too much about, if that makes sense.
Now, two things I want to mention real quick. Number one, you have to keep in mind that the winner of this match is going to go up against Moxley and everything. So we got to see what's going on there.
Yeah. So we're going to get at was it All In? It's going to be Will Ospreay, Adam Page versus
Moxley.
John Moxley for his title.
Yeah.
But at this point, I don't care who would have won this, just long to get the title off of Moxley and ditch this whole Death Riders bull crap.
Yeah. So the one thing I heard on one side, a lot of people were saying that if you considered it that way, it would make more sense for Hangman to win because Hangman's style kind of goes better with Moxley. Like Ospreay would have to like slow himself down a lot to match up with Moxley because he's way too fast paced and all that. You know, Moxley doesn't.
Well, here's my opinion on that. then Moxley need to learn how to do better.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying that's what they're saying. So in this case,
Yeah,
it would make more sense for Hangman to go after Moxley and everything. And then the other thing I want to say, I'm surprised. I don't know if there's some behind the scenes reason or maybe schedules or whatever, but I'm surprised that in this case we didn't get like the Tony Khan coming out with Linda Hart or Linda. I don't know her name. Yeah, we didn't get to see Owen Hart's wife, and yeah, there was nothing, and I was saying, well, I don't know. I guess because they went long, maybe they'll do it on Dynamite or not. Yeah, AEW
No,
Dynamite.
they didn't even
But they didn't do it
that.
there. Yeah, they didn't do it there either, and it's so weird because it's such a like the last year because it's a coincidence that the people that are actually going out together both once and they made a big deal out of Cole and Britt Baker winning their respective tournaments and they're all together and all that kind of garbage.
Wait,
So
but weren't they in Canada last time?
I
Maybe that's why.
I don't know, but anyways, it's so weird. But they can fly in.
I mean,
But
I know. I'm just.
yeah, but anyways, it's just weird that they didn't do that. She didn't come out. There's no whatever. There's supposed to be some kind of official something. Maybe it's just weird because Hangman doesn't really go together with Mercedes, right? With Mercedes or something, I guess. But it's so weird because it's a big tournament. There's a cup. They do the thing where the cup is there. They're all staring at it because I'm gonna win that, that kind of thing. And there's no official handing of the trophy or no ceremony.
Yeah, you're right. Wow. But like I said, I said it before for this. I mean, maybe last year was a little better, but I said for this year, it's like they didn't even. It was sort of like the Owen Hart Cup was like a second thought to me. It just felt that way to me.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like I said, maybe I don't think it was the main event last year, but this year it was. So whatever. So okay, they'll do it on Dynamite. No, they didn't. So that was kind of weird. Well, the other thing I want to say though is this is what's going on right now. They're doing a storyline in Dynamite where Ospreay says he's still in Hangman's corner because you know how it goes with Moxley and all his motherfuckers. So so Ospreay wants to help out to keep these fuckers out, when they have their match. But then they're doing a little thing where Swerve doesn't want to help because he still has like a hatred for Hangman. And I mean, you could kind of predict that either he'll warm up to it before the match or he'll do a surprise thing where he just comes in during the match to save or whatever. But the thing is, like, they need more people because like the Death Riders is like fuck it's not that many.
Now they have Gabe in there.
Yeah, there's like 20 guys in there and just Ospreay and Swerve aren't going to be enough. You need to get the ops. People in there to get the numbers.
Unless they somehow what's his face comes back after being almost suffocated by a plastic bag last year.
Oh, Darby Allin?
I think a plastic bag.
I can't. I forgot who it was by now.
Bryan Danielson.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Okay, I doubt it.
I doubt it.
Is he still? He's still in
Is he like officially retired? I don't know. But yeah, Jack, what are your thoughts on those statements? On the fact that what's his face? I'm out of here. Hangman is a better fit for Moxley compared to Ospreay, but at the same time, the fact that there was no like, ceremony for the trophy or nothing.
Well, I mean, it seems like they, it's really funny to me when it comes to this whole Owen Hart Cup thing, because in the same way, I respect Martha Hart, Dr. Martha Hart.
That's her name.
I love Owen to death.
That's her name.
Like I've always been a fan of Owen's career, even before WWE. Like I loved his New Japan run, everything. But the thing of it is, I do find it hilarious and kind of hypocritical that Martha doesn't want to put put Owen in the WWE Hall of Fame because she doesn't want them to bank off of her husband's name, which is fair. I mean, they did technically kill him, so fair enough. But she's totally fine with this company doing that exact thing, as in using his name to gain credibility. That's really what they're doing. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's not fair. Like that's wrong. In my mind, like that to me, that's wrong. To do the name off of, someone who's no longer there just to make yourself sound credible is kind of lame to the company to do. So I'm kind of par for the course. It's kind of like, oh yeah, he won the cup, and then anyway, I'm like, it seems like it's so funny. A friend of mine put it best. He says, Tony Khan is like an anime fan who loves tournament sagas but never finishes the tournament. And I'm like, yeah, he is. I'm like, it's like a person watching the Dragon Ball tournaments. I'm like, oh, I love this match. Oh, it's a good one. Oh, is that? I don't care who wins. That's basically what he does. It's like, yeah, pretty much. Like, I really think he is like that. I really think he doesn't think it through. And then when he does, he's like, now what? It's like, but I do agree. I do 100% agree. Hangman versus Moxley is a better fit and match than Ospreay versus Moxley, solely on the fact that not only it complements each other's style because they're both hard hitters.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I believe if Khan had the balls,
No.
he would make it. Everyone's banned from ringside, and it's a steel cage. A steel cage.
Is that these motherfuckers coming anyway? It's the only thing I hate. Like, they need to be disabled.
Yeah, like the last steel cage match they did with Moxley and Joe, wasn't it? And I think they slid the belt, the briefcase with the alleged belt inside, and
Yeah, and then Claudio and fucking Yuta still got involved. So they still show up anyway. I mean, they could do the thing. They could say they're banned from ringside to get more whatever.
Yeah, and so it could call the distraction, and they throw something in and get Moxley.
I think what would be great. This is what I would do. Show a backstage segment. Okay. Plan it out this way. Wait for them to come around, and then you get all these people to attack them, like Mark Briscoe, Ishii, all the people. But they coordinate their attack to cluster them into a room. And then you bolt and lock and barricade the door and lock them in for the match. That way they have no way to get out. And then Moxley like,
Nope, I got a better idea. A bigger ambulance.
put him in a trash can. That's what I would do.
No, throw him in a dumpster.
Yeah, put him in one of those big ass dumpsters, close the lid, lift it up with a forklift.
Oh, Donna could drive it. Donna could be driving it.
Yeah, and Nana could be driving it like, wee, like driving it like. Wee.
That's sad.
There you
man.
go.
So sad.
Or here's an idea. How about Joe locks them in his ice cream truck from Twisted Metal, since he plays Sweet Tooth, and just drives them the fuck away. It worked for me. And then you could do a crossover with Twisted Metal. There you go.
I just.
But have him dress up like a pirate, so that way you could also do a crossover with the new Yakuza game he's in.
Oh, Jesus. Well, have him dressed up as the pirate while driving that ice truck.
Yes, you have to have it both.
While chasing Sammy Guevara.
Yes. Overall, I thought this was a good show. I think if you cut out the Anarchy in the Arena match, the Don Callis match, maybe one of the pre-show matches, maybe one of them.
There are only two.
I know. I'm saying just cut out the second match. Cut out the second match, and then actually no. Hang on. Cut out Anarchy in the Arena. Cut out the FTR match. Cut that match out instead.
What about Tony Schiavone's honor though?
No, I mean, do you not have any respect for Tony? Do you
No,
know
I
what
don't.
he has done
I have
over
no
the
respect for the
years
guy.
for all the fans out there, all the Tony maniacs, if they actually exist?
But yeah, so cut out the FTR match, cut out the Anarchy in the Arena match, and then cut out yeah, like I said, that second match from the pre-show. And you'd have probably like a 9 out of 10 card, but as it stands now, yeah, I want to say 7.5, maybe 8 out of 10. I'll say 8 out of 10. I think I watched it the following day, but I also watched NXT Battleground, and Battleground was a better show from A to Z because it had more consistent matches. Even though it was only like it was like 7 matches, but they each had their own like variety and they didn't feel too forced. So I'm like, okay, cool. But like I kind of think of like when you book a card, it's got to be paced right. You know what I mean? Like you got to. With the problem with the Anarchy in the Arena match is it's such a clusterfuck that no one can like breathe after. They're like, ugh. It's kind of like it's like watching a marathon on Netflix and then someone going, all right, let's go to the movies. You're like, fuck, man, I just
binge watched all of this. I can't go to a movie now.
Now that we binge watched all of Cobra Kai, let's go see the movie.
Oh God.
You're like, no. Anyway, but yeah, that's pretty much my opinion. What about you guys?
I thought it actually wasn't as bad as I was expecting it to be, honestly. Because I actually stayed awake for the whole thing. Because usually I'm always asleep by like a few of the matches, but yeah, I stayed awake. So they did something right. But the Anarchy match, that was more of a really. Oh, come on. Seriously? Okay, this is crap. This is stupid. What's wrong with these people? What's wrong with them? Okay, lots of animals. That's kind of funny. You know?
I mean, like I was saying in our Facebook group thing. I mean, I loved the thing. It was fun for me. I mean, the only things I would have either. I mean, the only thing that would have really soured it for me would have been if the Moxley people did win Anarchy in the Arena. For me, I love the fact that you locked them fuckers into the ambulance and all that stuff, and they won without outside interference. So that got it for me. The only matches I just didn't care about were just the Adam Cole
That match.
and I
didn't really care about the FTR one either.
I mean, I kind of did because that was
It was
the
interesting.
Nitro angle.
I mean, it was interesting to see
Danny
that
Matthews was gonna get involved sooner or later,
without his shirt because like I say, he can't fit shirts anymore.
Yeah, but yeah, for me that's the only thing. The only match. I mean, the pre-show matches don't really count because they're kind of not part of the main event, whatever. But that's the only match I could have done without was just Adam Cole match. Everything else I liked. Like I said, I would have been 10 times more pissed if the Young Bucks and them won the Anarchy, but they lost. So they gave me that bite. Yeah, lock them fuckers up. Yeah, that kind of.
And even with the Adam Cole match for that one, I can't take Adam Cole seriously. I can take Roger Strong a little serious. I can take Cal O'Reilly seriously, and even Josh Alexander, Takeshita, and even Kyle Fletcher. But Adam Cole just seems like what did I jokingly say? Like a Make-A-Wish kid, and they granted his wish to be in the AEW match, and he can be on the roster, and it just allowed him to be there to giving him the belt, so he can have that boost of confidence. And he just doesn't look like a wrestler.
How was Leo Rush?
Even Leo Rush, he's a small guy, he's a short guy, but he still has some definition and
more
jacked. Who are you talking about?
Oh, I mean.
Oh yeah, It's so sad. People pointed out that Michael Cole has more. People pointed out Michael Cole has more body definition than Adam Cole, and it's so true.
The thing about it's like I know, like it's not real, it's choreographed or whatever, but you still have to look the part.
And you got to be a little bit of believability. So looking at him, I couldn't see him. I can't picture him beating actually anybody on the entire card except maybe someone like Darby Allin.
Or Brandon.
Because look at. You know what's funny, and I pointed this out to someone. Physique is important in wrestling. People don't understand this, especially for male wrestlers. Women wrestlers, it's kind of a mixed bag. But generally for male wrestlers, physique is very important for aesthetics because you gotta you don't think about it from like, oh, like the health point of view. You think of it from the visual of like, oh, if you're on a video game, how are you going to look? You know what I mean? Like if you're on a billboard, how are you going to look? Like that's one of the reasons people were kind of originally about Kevin Owens, but he's not as heavy as he looks. But like I'm saying as an example, but
Still looks like someone that you wouldn't want to piss off at a bar. You know?
Exactly.
It's all like
The problem
Kingston,
is-
same thing.
You don't want to
problem.
see Eddie Kingston in a dark alley.
Here's the big issue, though. If you look at the time in which Ring of Honor, when Adam Cole was in Ring of Honor, he reminded a lot of people of Tyler Black, aka Seth Rollins. And if you look at the early era of Seth Rollins when he looked in Ring of Honor, that was a scrawny kid, did some high flying spots, some good spots here and there, cool. But when he came to WWE, that's when he started building muscle. He started building mass. He started getting bigger. Still could do the moves, but he started focusing more on the like jacked up. And even Dean Ambrose to John Moxley, the fucking change of his body physique went like looked like he had the perma-flu all the way to him looking like he robbed a protein store. So it's like, but Adam Cole, yeah, you're right. He looks sickly.
Yeah.
He looks worse than he did in NXT.
He looks
I don't know
like
how.
Bane when the venom spills out. Like whenever
Yeah,
Batman
like-
cuts the tubes and the venom starts spilling out.
Yes, he does. Looks like he shrank. Is like, and
Or
I'm
he
like,
looks
all right,
like,
sorry guys.
Chris Evans, CGI, the Captain America serum.
I'll be like, hey guys, hey Tony, I don't know how to tell you, but your wrestler, he shrunk in the wash. So maybe don't do a heat setting, maybe do a cold setting from now on. Like just like that's basically what he is.
He's a holder. Yeah,
That's it. That's Adam Cole. He's like like now I know why Britt Baker. I'm like shit. Britt Baker probably left him because she could like push him with her hand and break his ribs.
because you brought body slam every day. Boom.
It's like
You're
I need a
friend.
man I need a man who can protect me from more than toothpicks.
No, but it's just sad because like I said, I just can't take him seriously because he does look like he's like he needs the other two as his bodyguards to protect him. And I'm just thinking he really shouldn't be a title holder because of that. Like I said, he's a Make-A-Wish kid. Tony
When you
Khan
find-
granted his wish so he can be there. as
When you
part
find
of
out
their
that he
group.
spends more time on Twitch than he does in the ring, you are not shocked by that fact at all. You're like,
Yeah,
yep, holy fucking tracks. It's like someone telling you, oh yeah, by the way, did you know Adam Cole is a furry and he goes to FurCon? I'm like, you know what? I'm not shocked by that. I really would not be shocked by that fact. It's like, what kind of furry is he? Is he a wolf? Like, what is? I just. Anyway, moving on to whatever you guys think.
But Johnny, what are your thoughts on the overall pay-per-view and everything?
I actually liked this pay-per-view. It was pretty good. It was way better than the previous one. I forgot which one was the previous one. But lately, a lot of the pay-per-views were kind of meh. And I like this one because this one, like most of the matches, even for the people that I don't care about or don't support, like even those matches are so entertaining and one way or another. So it was so good. It was so entertaining. It was an interesting pay-per-view.
Yeah. So it was a lot of fun. But
Then
I mean, like I
match
said,
was pretty funny in a way.
yeah. So that wraps up for this event here. It was a lot of fun. Oh, you have like the roundup of who won.
Oh yeah, and I also forgot to mention with the Osprey match, nobody gets a point.
Oh, everybody went for
No, everybody went for Osprey.
oh wow.
So nobody went for Adam Page.
Well, Norris got them angry, crazy eyes. Y'all went against him.
All right, so the winner of this one, I forgot to mention. Okay, so let's see here. It looks like we have a three-way tie for first place today between Mark, William, and DJF. All has 7 points. Next would be next tied with 6 is me and Johnny. And unfortunately, Jack came in last with 4 points, which means he has to suffer through Anarchy in the Ring 5 times in a row, just like the song.
No, he'll be forced to be Adam Cole's spotter until he finally gets some muscle.
That seems like less of
That seems more like a
suffering.
promotion than anything else. I could
Yeah,
get
but
that
that's not
motherfucker to build some
suffering.
muscle.
Well, they'll be playing Let the Bodies Hit the Floor 5 times while he's doing it.
No. Yeah,
God.
while he's spotting Cole, he has to sit through Anarchy in the Ring 5 times in a row.
Golly.
Oh my god. All right. So,
Anyway.
anyways, guys, wraps up this episode of the Diving Cutter Wrestling Podcast. Again, if you guys are having trouble sleeping, you're having like the shakes, you're having, like the red eyes, all that kind of stuff, listen to our podcast. It'll just, because sleep deprivation. If you go long enough without sleep, you start, having all kinds of weird symptoms and whatever. So, if you're having those kind of things, watch the Diving Cutter Podcast. They'll knock you right out. We do warn you to not listen to us while you're driving your car or operating heavy machinery or doing forklifts or whatever, because
We are not going to be held liable. We gave you your warning. If you fall asleep, that's on you.
So
We're not paying your legal fees.
exactly. Signing off for today. This is Mark Rodriguez, and with me are
Jack Knives from Jack Knives Reviews signing out.
This is Jupi Chan, also known as Ninja Jupi, or you can call me Wendy. And we'll see you guys later. And we're going to turn this over to the one, the only, the man of the hour, the man with the power, the man whose face the ladies did not get to see today,
Johnny Rodriguez.
all right. Catch you later, guys.
Good night.
See you next time.